I think I'm back. I don't know what's actually survived, but most of it seems okay. Let's see. All right. Well, OBS is in the green again. That's nice.
Kohate said, "You are now live and not a Microsoft PowerPoint presentation."
That's awesome. Thanks for letting me know. Wait, half an hour is a Microsoft presentation. I don't know why my VPN was on. But alas, it was.
Kohate said, "I do it's because you were engaged in illegal and illicit activities, naturally."
Of course. I was hiding my crypto activity from the IRS. I did get around to filing my taxes finally. That's something I don't have to worry about. Usually something I'm late on because screw taxes and screw the IRS. And also, I go through all this trouble and they're like, oh, congratulations, you got a $40 rebate. Like, oh, so you're telling me that my taxes were correct in the first place. And I didn't need to waste my time to do any of this. Thanks a lot, IRS. Thanks a lot. Man, I hate drawing curves.
Kohate said, "Yeah, it's kinda annoying. Most employers just deduct tax straight from a paycheck and it's like, why would I need to file anything after that? What more complication could there be?" Kohate said, "I hate drawing curves, don't lie to me like this dice."
It's kind of true though. I mean, some curves, sure, but I've never been drawing like good at drawing like ovals in perspective or anything like that. So I spend way too much time trying to figure out the optimal curve of a perspective. Give this guy his little molten core here. So what's the discourse of the week, go ahead?
Said, but out the compass and ruler just to search for the optimal curve.
Do they have something for that in Clip Studio Paint? I mean, other than like, well, actually, using the ellipse tool probably wouldn't give you the right kind of curve, would it?
Kohate said, I think so, I've never used it. I know GIMP used to have a sort of vector line plotting system. But alas, this isn't GIMP. Kohate said, discourse of the week.
And my Twitter has been very political this week. So, most of the things I have to talk about are like, let's see, Gamergate 2 related. Good old Daily Wire tried to weigh in and got roundly rejected because they're grifting psychos.
Kohate said, my Twitter is never political as a result of just obliterating people that I dislike. 10/10 would recommend.
Yeah, but Kohet, I actually engage in that stuff to an extent. Let's see. The music has stopped and I must find which tab it is and rectify this. Have you seen the
Kohate
next Pokemon
said,
game? There,
you're a crazy dude, so what's happened?
what's happened? Well, Stone Toss got doxxed. I saw that, which is quite interesting.
Also, I have entered the chat. Hello.
Hello, how's it going? I ask
Going
again.
swell.
Yes.
You ask what again? Sorry, I'm all sorts of turned around.
I asked how's it going because I'm pretty sure I asked that when you were in the normal chat.
I don't think so. Today it was a bit of a strange start because it started with the slideshow. There was no time for pleasantries.
Oh, well, I probably asked it, but you didn't hear it because it was a
Oh.
slideshow.
I see. Yeah, no, there was nothing coming through that first 30 minutes or so. Like I thought it was a Twitch thing, so I hopped over to YouTube and I was like, no, this is a tragedy.
Well, it's a good thing you came by. One of the hardest parts about being a streamer with no audience is when you do get an audience, you might have technical issues and they don't tell you.
No, that would never happen.
That would never happen. We never have lurkers or anything.
Would you prefer to have technical issues and have nobody tell you, or not have technical issues but have your audience tell you that you do?
What? So they're just screwing with me?
Yeah, pretty much.
I, I would take the audience. I think, even if there are little douchebags,
Even if they're just mischief makers.
I can deal with a banter of the audience.
Just every time you start your stream, hey, no sound, no audio.
No, stuff like that is pretty common with in the VTuber world. Screwing with the streamer.
I mean, you gotta. Like, how could you not? I'm gonna start here soon. I just don't want you to, like, know ahead of time.
Oh, start screwing with me. Okay.
Yeah, you gotta be a little mischievous here and there.
I mean, I basically expect it
From me, of all people?
from you.
Unbelievable.
Oh,
I thought I built a good rapport. I guess I'll have to keep working on it before I ruin it.
no, you're too comfortable with my own banter towards you, so I know you will deliver back in some way.
20 years from now, when you need me most. So what's the drama you were talking about? What's Gamergate 2? What is that?
Gamergate 2 is that you know about Sweet Baby Inc.
Yes.
Yeah. So there is a guy that made a Steam curator page. And it's basically just, hey, these games have Sweet Baby in their credits, don't play them.
Okay.
That's like the whole curator page. And they
Pretty
tried,
innocent.
the Sweet Baby people tried to start a harassment campaign to get him reported off of Steam.
Okay.
And then, of course, since it's Gamergate 2, game journalists came to their rescue after it was found out that they were doing shady crap. And the game journalists, of course, lied about everything. Because they're
As you
game
do.
journalists.
Yep.
And
Wow.
So that's been raging for like the past week.
Well, I don't think this has been a week thing because we were talking about it the last stream. This has been like the last month, hasn't it?
Month? I don't know about month. Maybe a couple.
Time flies when you're living in agony, I guess.
Time flies on Twitter. Yeah.
So what was the other part you were talking about? Some guy from a different website was like, "Hey, Sweet Baby is bad," and everyone was like, "Wow, I'm going to change my opinion on Sweet Baby and say that I now dislike you."
That's not exactly the whole story, of course.
Okay.
Are you familiar with the Daily Wire?
I am familiar with the wires that come daily.
Yeah, it's one of their people, Matt Walsh,
Okay.
who consistently has just said things like, "Oh, games are for children, men shouldn't play them," and things like that, and says gamers are childish, and he's like the violent video games cause violence in real life, that kind of person.
Yes.
So he decided that he was going to talk about Gamergate 2.0.
Okay. And what do you have to say about it?
You know what? I didn't actually watch the thing because I already know his opinions in general.
Yeah.
But from what I understand, he's basically saying, "Oh, all the wokeness in video games hasn't been getting much attention," which it has. It's been getting a lot of attention, actually.
My understanding was that it got a lot of attention, and then everyone went, whatever. Because no one actually cares enough about it. Or at least the gamers don't actually care enough about it.
Oh, we care.
I mean, I count myself as a gamer, as a hashtag gamer. And I care some of the times. Other times I'm just like, it's not my genre, not my fight.
This is coming from a fighting game player, of course.
Right. I cared when it was in Guilty Gear. That's for sure. I'm still sad. I still cry.
Yeah, well,
Every
they're
night.
doing that to other genres too. They have been
Man.
for a long while. Last decade. Freaking retards. The first Gamergate issue was like 110, not 100 years ago. Feels like it. 10 years ago.
But the first Gamergate thing, that was ethics in gaming journalism.
And guess
Is
what
my
the issue
understanding.
with this time is?
So the issue is not the ethics. I thought the issue was the content created by the gaming companies is what people don't like, not that gaming journalists are like miserable, because it's already accepted that they're miserable.
The whole reason this issue is Gamergate 2 is because of the whole targeted campaign against the Steam curator and the subsequent downplaying and lying about it of the game journalists.
I see. Yeah, that's not great. I wish they would just like let people play their video games.
Or simply not buy their video game.
But that's the problem, right? Because like we as gamers are not a very strong collective unit. We don't have this like group mind / hierarchy. So even though we as gamers care, most gamers don't actually care, I don't think.
I don't know, some of the recent games that these people have worked on haven't been doing so well. And that's part of the reason why people are starting to notice.
But likewise, my understanding is that some of the games they've worked on have also like just done fine as well. Like Spider-Man was fine, right?
Spider-Man had like a mission where you play as like Miles Morales' deaf black girlfriend spraying graffiti on a building or something like that.
No way. That's insane. That's not Spider-Man.
And it
That's
also had
crazy.
like pride flags everywhere and stuff. And of course, if you try to mod any of that stuff out, your mods get taken off of the main mod sites, and they refuse to
Right.
host it.
It's a little. It's not a little. It's very dystopian.
Yeah, yeah. And they do the same thing with Baldur's Gate. Want to remove the gay stuff from Baldur's Gate? Well, you're not allowed to do that. Those mods get shut down.
I'm sure that if you just don't go to Nexus mods, you can find these mods. I think this is a Nexus issue and not a mod hosting website in general issue. I could be wrong, but like
I don't know many mod hosting websites that aren't Nexus.
they do have like the the notability monopoly in terms of like attention.
Yeah, that's
Or
where
like
most people go.
I mean, I even paid for the Nexus mod like account thing because I was like, this is an excellent service. Allow me to support this website financially. And now they've started the censorship campaign, and I'm like, man, I wish I had never given you anything.
Yeah.
Feels real bad.
I think they might have a stick up their butt just out for like hot characters too. Make a mod that's makes characters hotter, and it's a bad thing according to them.
Because why would you ever want to look at a character that looks nice? That's illegal. You can't have
Exactly.
nice looking characters. I'm looking at the Sweet Baby page right now, just because I was curious if they had any games that were good. And I see now that they're responsible, or they worked on this visual novel called Goodbye Volcano High. I don't know if you
Dale
know
Bakery
about
Pop.
this.
This
But
sounds
it's-
awful.
Oh no, there's a glurvy
It's
sitage
the
on Kohei's
dinosaur
face.
dating simulator. There is there's a parody of it called Snoot Game, and everybody agrees that the parody is substantially better than the actual game itself.
I have heard of Snoot Game. Also, Dale is in
Yeah.
the chat, so hello, Dale. And I
you
have
go.
moved the Glarva away from Kohet's face.
It was warm underneath the Glarva, but you know.
My Snoot Game. Aptly titled.
So the original is this Goodbye Volcano High, and
Okay, so you're telling me that Sweet Baby worked on Snoot Game as well, but not Snoot Game. Original
Yes.
Snoot Game.
yeah, correct, original Snoot Game, also known as Bad Snoot Game. And then I've just like never heard of some of these games, like God of War Ragnarok I have heard of, Alan Wake I've heard of, Suicide Squad flopped.
Yeah, that's kind of what kicked this whole thing off, is like Suicide Squad was just so bad. People were like, what the hell is going on?
Do they have any other things that they've worked on? Or is it just the stuff that's on like their projects page? I guess I could go to the Steam curation page and take a look, huh?
Yeah, you could.
How does that even work?
Steam curators?
I have no idea how, like, if you worked at this company, how would you find out that there is a Steam curation list for games produced by your company? Or that your company collaborated on?
I don't know, because it was actually a pretty small curator when they first said something about it. And then Streisand Effect happened. Now they're like one of the largest curators on Steam.
I don't even know how, like, this is how mind-boggling it is to me. I don't even know how to find a curation group on Steam.
Yeah, I was not sure about that either. Like, I had to look it up. I think I had to do a search on Steam itself. That's one of the gripes I have about Steam, is that it's just hard to find things. They have a lot of features, but good luck finding where it is unless you have looked it up somewhere.
I mean, I don't have any issue finding games.
Yeah.
They're doing their primary function just fine.
The things that make the money, you can find real easy.
Okay, Theme Curator, way easier to find through Google than through Steam. That's crazy.
It is.
Oh, they did. Okay, Assassin's Creed Valhalla flopped. Gotham Knights flopped. A lot of these games I just don't know. And this like list isn't like super long either.
No, there's actually, like, I saw the list and I was like, there's no way they're the only ones doing this kind of stuff, because there's way more garbage games out there that do this kind of thing. And lo and behold, there's like a whole industry of these consultation writing places that will ESG your game up like that.
Yeah. Like, hey, we talked about it a little bit on your last stream. where it's just like, I don't blame Sweet Baby for this at all. I blame the companies that are hiring Sweet Baby in these kinds of organizations to destroy the work of their own writing staff
Dale Dickory Pop
for political
said,
points.
These companies have been around for like 12 years now.
But yeah, if you're Sweet Baby, it's crazy that you would be able to find this.
And it was a small list to begin with.
Right, like, don't they have anything else to do? Don't they have more important work to be doing than, I don't know, searching the internet for themselves?
Apparently not, given how short the list of games they are for this. Did I actually speak English right there? I feel like I skipped a few words.
You did, and you did. The message came across very clearly.
That's good, that's good. I was distracted by Dale's popping into the Discord chat there.
I had to form new neural networks to process that sentence. That was crazy.
That's actually something I think about fairly often, how language works and stuff like that, because I watch Hinya, who is a VTuber that is she's half Japanese, half American, but she's like raised Japanese, so Japanese is her first language, but she speaks pretty good English. But her English is like in this weird state where it's like, it's broken, but it's good enough that you can understand it. So she'll just say things that are completely grammatically wrong, but you'll understand what she's saying anyways, without a problem.
It's just like, you got the subject, the object, and the verb, so it's close enough.
She'll use like 3 different tenses in the same sentence, and it's like, okay, yeah, I get you.
It's kind of like, so there's a type of language, or a language type, I think you would call it, called Pidgin.
Oh,
which
yeah.
is like language that is extremely rudimentary and explicitly for the purpose of conducting trade. And so you have like BBC Pidgin.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say, have you heard of BBC Pidgin before?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it's really easy to make fun of because it sounds ridiculous, and you go like, oh, these people they must be stupid because this language is stupid. But it's like a completely utilitarian, like, communication mechanism.
No, Pidgin English is freaking hilarious.
Oh, it is funny. You're not wrong. But, you know, I cut him a bit more slack.
Some of it's like, just straight up unintelligible, really. Even to like a normal English speaker. It's like, he done them way da poo poo. It's like, what the hell?
Well, I mean, it's not for the normal English speaker.
Well, you think the English speaker should be able to understand it since it's supposed to be English.
Right. No, that would... I mean, if you're too lazy to learn English to trade with English speakers, but the English are also too lazy to learn your language, you might as well meet in the middle somewhere. You both have to learn like a little bit and you'll call it good.
Dale asks, is Pidgin English like caveman speaking cartoons? It's like really stereotypical Ebonics.
I wouldn't go that far.
Really? It wouldn't? It literally sounds like stereotypical, like, African people trying to speak English.
Here you go, Dale.
Yeah, Dale, just look up BBC Pidgin. It is the funniest garbage you'll see today.
This release of Osman Sonko and Bisiro Diomayan Faye Day coming the middle of the electoral campaign for D. I keep saying D because instead of they write DI.
Yeah.
D presidential election. Way them go hold in less than 10 days. It actually sounds like I'm being incredibly offensive.
The best part is like when parts of it are just like written in plain English, but then halfway through the sentence it breaks down into like caveman speak. Like, for better information plus explanation of all the Obongo territory where people never hear about for inside West and Central Africa, BBC Pigeon they say.
Oh my god.
Now BBC Pigeon is freaking hilarious.
It truly is a gift. Like this one, there's an ad next to this article. It says, "Drinking plenty water, good for your skin?" Question mark. But plenty is spelled Plenti.
To be fair, English has been corrupted in its spellings by French, so I can understand misspelling things or just spelling them differently.
We're gonna come to learn that Pidgin English is actually just like proper, like historically accurate English without the French influence. And before you say that's German, I would say I. But this is funnier.
Or what's that other one? Danish? Is that the one I'm thinking of?
Danish is actually hell. Danish looks and sounds like it should sound like English, but they're eating a bunch of potatoes and are very drunk.
It's literally like Jar Jar speak.
There was this old Danish newspaper article. And it looks like modern English slang, and they're talking about Hitler, and it's so insane.
I'm pretty sure I posted that in the Discord chat.
Yeah.
Like last week or the week before, yeah.
Was it in the general or the stream? Do you know?
I don't remember. Let's see. Shouldn't be too far to scroll up. Oh wait, we had big conversations in general during the week.
I hate it when I have a big conversation in the general chat during the week. Yo, we actually like talk too much. What the hell?
Discord has been way too active. I can't
gotta
keep up
get
with
outta
all
here.
this.
Oh, it was in the stream chat. Hitler dude, what no?
Yeah. There it is.
Like I'm pretty sure that one is in Danish.
Dutch, that's it.
Are they different?
Apparently. I
Oh
don't
my
know.
god.
Are the Danes and
There's
the
like-
Dutch the same thing? I think they're different.
There's like 12 countries in a 10 square mile radius up there. They
Europe,
might as well
Europe
be
is
the
a silly place. Yes, Die Vaderland. Hitler dude. What now?
Dude, Hitler, LMAO, XD.
Hitler dude, they found the ovens. What now?
Oh no. Oh no.
All right, I better
Yeah,
start
languages.
the next panel here.
Are
Language
you
is
sending
funny.
these ones off to be lined?
Yes, Patron is gonna get these. He talked me up about making more comics, so we're gonna send them to him.
Oh my gosh.
We're just gonna kind of thumbnail these.
If I was employing somebody and they convinced me to make a comic or produce more comic-like materials, I would fire them immediately. And it would be acceptable even in the state of California. Like, that's how understandable the firing would be.
Hey, people are applying for the Gilded.
Whoa.
Welcome aboard, people. Patron yearns for the mines, Dale says. Apparently. Alright, I need to bring up the next page. And the next text. I do not enjoy text in Clip Studio Paint.
I mean, I want to defend CSP with every fiber of my being, and they don't even pay me to defend them. So I should stop. However, I will agree with you entirely. The text tool is whack. You know what they added in 3.1?
What did they add in 3.1?
You can now create text in a circle.
But why would you want to do that?
Like, let's say you were making a coin or something, and you wanted to have text properly spaced in a circle around the
Okay.
point.
Okay.
Like, that's the use case. However, I'm still angry because my solution to this problem is don't make it so that you create text in a circle. Create it so that the text will follow a vector line. That way it doesn't matter which shape the text is following, because then you could just use the ellipse tool, draw a circle, and then have the text follow the vector line that is the circle you drew with the ellipse. Or you could make squiggly lines or like other lines. You could make it very natural and interesting, like text layouts. But instead, you know what Celsius does? They say you will have your circle text tool and you will like it. And honestly, I'm just mad. I'm so salty. I'm so angry.
Yeah, I'd settle for it just being a little easier to use.
I mean, I don't mind difficulty. I just want like proper functionality. And
I mind
telling
difficulty.
me...
It makes things
Oh,
harder.
I see.
It makes things take longer, you know? I ain't got time to be fussing with the tools.
But like, there's the sense you don't appreciate the sense of mastery in doing a complicated process quickly.
The problem is, I'm not doing it quickly because it's complicated.
Well, that's why you have to learn it at first.
A
Because
good
you learn it,
tool
you
is
integrate.
easy to use.
I don't-
Tools are supposed to
like-
make a process easier, you know?
Correct, but some of them have a learning curve. Like, you know, cars make getting places easier. But if you don't know how to drive, well, congrats, you're dead. You have failed at the primary function and are now dead.
Yeah, but I could just import this into Photoshop and use a functional text tool.
I mean, if I were you, that's what I would do. If I had access to Photoshop, this is exactly what I would do. I've been wanting to do stuff sometimes with text, and I've been like, you know what, I'm just gonna import this into GIMP. Because the open source graphic image manipulation program has a better text tool than the closed source Clip Studio Paint.
Oh, well, closed source versus open source ain't a hard thing to figure out. Somebody with a little bit of coding knowledge was fed up with it and said, I'm just going to make a plugin and fix the issue.
I mean, you're right. But I feel like that's kind of rare in open source. Like, most of the time, open source is kind of... it's exactly... I'm suddenly replacing myself with you, because a lot of the time the open source software has like a super ridiculously high learning curve, and I just don't want to deal with it.
That is kind of true.
Like, I don't know if you saw, but I'm learning a little bit of Godot.
Yeah.
I'm going to make my roguelike monster girl game. I'm almost at 6 hours into a 1 hour tutorial right now, because the guy doing the tutorial doesn't actually explain what it is he is doing. He's just like, all right, now we're gonna do this, and I'm like, hold on, what is this? What are you doing?
Yeah.
What's a JSON? I don't know what any of this is. And yeah, it's not fun. And I'm wondering if it's because Godot is open source and is therefore quirkier than something like Unreal or Unity.
I doubt that.
I also kind of doubt that.
I think it's just like coders are autistic, so they don't understand how normal people think.
I mean, for the most part, I understand the Godot script process. Like, it seems intuitive enough for me to like be willing to learn it. However, I did spend about 2 hours trying to make it so that when the character walks into like an opponent character's like sphere, the game doesn't immediately crash. Because what was happening was I would make the character, I'd put them in the scene, I would run the game, they would walk towards like this little frog thing, and the second they got within like 3 feet of the frog, the entire game would just crash out. And I was like, why is this happening? And so I changed a bunch of variables. Nothing would change, just every time I got close to the frog it would crash. And so I was like, I don't know how I followed these instructions incorrectly. I'm just gonna start over from the very beginning. An hour later, I've done everything again. It's exactly the same as it was the first time. I'm banging my head against this wall. I load the game. I get within the frog's sphere of influence. It's all fine. No issues. It's so annoying, actually. Like, I tried to take the code over to an AI, and I was like, hey, tell me what's wrong with this. And the AI was like, I don't know, actually. I don't have enough Godot script data.
I have not tried taking code to an AI yet. I should probably try that, because I always get hung up trying to deal with video game development on stupid stuff like that, much like you.
I don't know how good the code is going to be, or the AI is going to be at figuring out that kind of stuff, though. Just because, like, the problems are usually, they're like always novel. Like, it's never like you look it up and you're like, surely somebody else has encountered this problem, and then you'll go to I forget what this site is called, Stack Overflow or some site like that, and you're like, has anybody encountered this issue with variables in Godot where they always spit out as negative? And then it's like, actually no one has ever seen this issue before. Like, great.
And a lot of the time, it seems like whatever is wrong is just like something you had no idea could be wrong.
It's the most messed up thing. Right? Like you'll be spelling and you'll be like, for some reason the program isn't recognizing this specific word in the text that I've input. And you'll get an answer like 6 months later is what I understand it to be. And the answer is like, well, you see, your computer by default enters things in a Unicode that is different than what this program is expecting. So it simply did not recognize the character close parentheses, semicolon, squirrely bracket here, breaking the entire code.
Dale says Godot is pretty easy to make boomer shooters in. Which I would not, it does not surprise me. Isn't everything easy to make shooters in? Just
I mean,
like everything's easy to make platformers in because it's like one of the default game types.
I'll make the furry boomer shooter. Does that exist? I'll make it.
I mean,
if it's easy. If it takes more than 20 hours, though, I'm gonna have to call it quits.
I mean, we already have Gunfire Reborn.
See, but that is like high quality. Like, I want to make something that's awful. I'm tired of good games. I want bad games.
Get this man a Sweet Baby contract.
Get this man. It took me a second to register. Dale says, Godot is weird, requires less and simpler coding than what I had to do in Unity, but I find it harder to use the code in. It kind of feels like it wants you to just use everyone else's pre-made plugins and jerry-rig something that works. His college experience. Godot is easy to make boomer shooters. What script language are you using? So my understanding is Godot only has Godot script as its like default scripting language. And if you want something else, you have to like get a plugin, and it's just gonna make life for a newbie like me more difficult than it already is. Because, you know, open source. Is C# officially supported? Is C# scripting? I thought C# was something else. Whatever. I'm just gonna use what comes with the thing.
They use whatever the tutorials tell you to use.
Exactly. Like, I don't think a JSON file has anything to do with JavaScript. Like, that was my discovery today. Because I always thought that a JSON was like a JavaScript data container. And now I'm discovering that it's just a list. Like, it's just a Excel spreadsheet in text form. Still pretty cool, though.
Did you hear about Stone Toss this week?
So I know who Stone Toss is, and I have like a running counter in my head for like when he hits and when he misses. Because sometimes I see a Stone Toss comic and I'm like, this man never misses. And then other times I see a Stone Toss comic and I'm like, this man is insane and has never been outside. My understanding is that he has entered into drama.
He got doxxed.
Yeah, that's a bit more than drama. Has he truly been doxxed though? Because I thought the drama was around whether or not he was truly doxxed.
Well, I mean, the Twitter thread got taken down, so whether it's true or not, people are going to say it is.
Wow. Was it taken down by him? Like, what was the Twitter thread is my question.
I didn't get to
Because
see
I didn't
it.
see it. Oh my gosh.
All I know is that Stone Toss isn't white, according to the docs. And
Okay.
for some reason, all the social justice people are really like getting all over that.
All over the fact that he's not a white dude?
Yes.
Wouldn't this make them be like he's justified in his criticisms because of the color of his skin?
Dude, I saw a thread where they were sneating about the
Hold on.
doxing.
What the hell does sneeding mean?
Oh, come on.
I have no idea what sneeding means.
Like seething. How about that? Can you
Okay.
parse that one? They were seething
Yes.
about how the information was taken off Twitter because doxing is against the rules, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And like half the posts in there were like, haha, look at Stone Toss. He's this white supremacist isn't even white.
I see. He's a self-hating white
And
supremacist.
the other half were like, oh, all his fans are gonna hate him now that they know he's not white. And turns out he's like selling more merch than ever.
You know, it's literally
Like-
just because most people aren't actually racist. It's so I don't know why it's so hard for people to
It's it's just like, hey guys,
wrap their heads around that.
maybe now that you know he's not white and his fans still like him, maybe it's not like they're actually white supremacists. Maybe that actually disproves your point instead of something to make fun of.
Nah. Once you're that far in, you have to double down. It's the only way.
Freaking
Dale
psychos.
says, Godot script is easier to read and write for normies, but its language won't be useful for any other coding. Whereas you can use C#, whereas if you use C#, you, in theory, could use that script in Unity and other C# engines. Yeah, but like, you know, learning, there has to be like fundamentals that you can take away from learning Godot script that you would then be able to apply to other scripting languages.
Dude, you know what? I think the biggest problem I have with like learning scripting and stuff is just that like every time you do a new script, it's like learning an entirely new language. Like literally like learning French. And that's bad
Right.
enough. But like you have to
Yeah,
learn all new vocabulary and all new commands and everything.
And sometimes the same vocabulary and the same commands just do different things.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you put a space in, that does nothing. Sometimes if you put a space in, that changes the entire function of what you're writing. Sometimes enters are just visual. Sometimes they mean that you're going to create a new clause. I feel like we're probably the same, wherein we've tried to learn a coding thing many times. But every time you get like 50 hours into it and you're like, man, I could do anything else with my time right now.
Yeah. Pretty much. Like I started on a Vampire Survivors clone because there's a tutorial about it that seemed like it would be a good start and it'd be an easy thing to like get into because it's not a complicated game.
Right.
I haven't made it through the tutorial yet just because I don't have time.
Oh no, Dice. In my watch next list, so I'm doing this platformer tutorial, and then in my watch next is a 2-hour tutorial on Vampire Survivor clone. You've made me very worried very quickly.
Wait, was it just a 2-hour tutorial? Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's here. Let me see.
The one I was using was a bunch of different parts.
What engine was it on?
It was Godot.
It was Godot.
Yeah.
I hope this 2-hour tutorial isn't part 1 of a multi-part tutorial. Yeah, okay, so this is from a channel called GD Quest, and it says your first 2D game from zero with Godot 4 Vampire Survivor style, and it's 2 hours and 15 minutes, and they have a soy jack pointing towards the background going, ooh.
That's how you know it's good.
Yeah, that's how you know.
Is that what made you pick that one?
No, I was looking for things that seemed simple. Because I'm afraid of tackling anything difficult, just in general. And they also just have their project files available, so I don't have to make anything.
That's pretty common for tutorials. That, or they just use like default stuff.
Yeah. It's kind of insane how like what's the word, magnanimous strangers are on the internet with information that you would normally have to like go to a trade school or a college to learn.
Yeah. Freedom of information, bro.
It's great. I love it. I was watching a video not too long ago. It was like the rise of credentialism in the modern era. And it was like people just ragging on startups because they don't have the proper papers that say that they're good at something when they've like self-studied or what have you. You know, I was like, yeah, you can learn like anything you want to on the internet for free. And you'll probably be better than the people who went to school for it. But you don't have the piece of paper.
Oh yeah, in my experience with school is that the teachers suck and you don't learn that much.
Oh my gosh. Your experience mirrors my experience a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
I fully blame my inability to do well in higher math on the way teachers presented it.
I wish I could say the same thing, but I'm just gonna put it out there that I'm kind of bad with numbers. Like, I don't think a teacher could have saved me from my destiny in this one.
I was pretty good with numbers until I hit high school and I got like the autistic uber nerd teachers teaching advanced math. And it was literally like, I'm going to define this thing by the textbook definition that's also references other math things. So you don't actually know what it's talking about, but trust me, it's math.
But trust me, it's math.
It's like,
really
we're going to learn how to do quadratic equations. You know what a quadratic equation is? It's an equation used to solve quadratic formulas.
And you're like, thanks, I guess.
Thanks, what's a quadratic formula? Well, a quadratic formula is a formula in the quadratic format here. Like, what does that mean?
Yo, that's literally how the tutorial I'm working on right now is going. Like when he brings up a new concept, He's like, all right, so now we're going to make this JSON file that will reference this like res block in code. And I'm like, I don't know what any of those things are. Could you like honestly, if he was like a real person and I could just ask, it would make this so much better. Like that's
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of the function of a teacher. I feel.
At least this teacher you're not like paying for.
It's true.
So
I am here of my own volition.
it sucks that the teachers you pay for are usually some of the worst ones. Well, unless they're like people who do it in their own time. Like people who are just like, I'm gonna start a tutoring thing on the internet that people can just like buy for themselves to get better. I see a lot of art like YouTubers do stuff like this, where they have like Gumroad packs or something that you can buy and it's like a quick lesson on something.
I've also seen like a bunch of art YouTubers, especially like they're just like art teachers as well.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then they'll hop on the internet and they're like, I'm actually just gonna give this class for free. And no one can stop me. And that seems a little unhinged, in my opinion. I don't know what that's really about.
Yeah, no, art YouTube is quite nice.
I honestly, yeah, like art YouTube, coding YouTube, basically any part of YouTube that's about like a trade or a skill is pretty darn good. It's just the second you go off into anything abstract, it really deteriorates very fast. I will be right back.
Alrighty. I should probably lower the ears on this dude. Mentioned before, but that's something I forget to do when I'm got characters looking up. I don't know if he missed much good, Dale. That depends on what you call good, I guess. Also, I don't know how long ago you sent that message. Any good banter? We were talking about how teachers suck. Actually. I was gonna bring up the characters I'm working on here. How do you feel about teachers, Dale? Our consensus is that school teachers suck, but internet teachers are much better. Specifically, art YouTubers. There we go. Move this guy behind. Actually, let's put her over here and move him over here. DIY and math YouTubers are pretty shway. I haven't seen too many math YouTubers. Maybe that's something I should check out, since I was just complaining about how my math teachers in school sucked ass. Oh. How does this compare to the other side?
All right, back.
He's back.
I had to eat a fortune cookie.
Ah. You gonna share your
want to
fortune?
have a future? Oh, sure. I'll share my fortune with you. You are refreshingly level-headed, and others can relate to you. You hear that? I'm relatable. I don't know about the level-headed thing, though.
Oh no, I'd say that's more accurate than relatable.
Wow, unbelievable. It doesn't. I don't think it's an insult, but I have never felt more insulted. That's crazy.
Wow, it wasn't meant to be that insulting.
You know, you're right. I have felt more insulted, especially in this chat. Maybe I was being a little hyperbolic and not at all level-headed, ironically enough.
Being a little drama queen.
Somebody has to, you know? I don't engage with drama the same way you guys do, so I have to make it for myself.
I usually engage with drama by mocking it and then muting it.
Yeah, that's pretty strong. It's a pretty strong option.
That's one thing I've noticed about being on Twitter. The more you just ignore people saying stupid crap, the less time you waste on there.
It's true. I think we talked about it a little bit last time, but like my rate of response to anything is about like 0.05%. Like, I simply do not engage and am a bad community member of anything. Like, especially with Discord, like, you know, there'll be a message in a chat. I'll be tagged in something. I will see it. I will close out of Discord because the little pop-up thing is bringing up my start menu bar and it's annoying me.
Oh, I hate that.
And then I will never enter or engage with Discord for the rest of the day.
Yeah. We are of one mind. And I'm trying to work myself out of that and like talk to people more often that's not drama baiting.
Yeah. Because it's nice, you know, talking to people.
Yeah, this is what we were talking about last time. Like when I was saying, we were talking about not being sure if interacting was desired or warranted, and I said I always think like, would I like it if somebody did whatever I'm thinking about doing? And the answer is usually yes. You remember
Dale
this?
said, I do remember this, and I agree with this. I've taken this to heart even. In that I was thinking about it when I wrote a thing that was like, hey, if you follow me, I will draw your character. You don't have a choice. It's just happening. And they will be incorrect. And I made this statement with the knowledge that like, yeah, if somebody did that to me, I'd be like, awesome. Sick.
Right.
This conversation has had a direct impact on the way that I engage online. For the better, I think, as well.
I did see such a post from you, and I had to think, wow, every time I've given you the chance to draw my characters explicitly, you have been exceedingly tame in your interpretations.
It's true. And that's because you don't have like an explicit property. Like, I don't want to taint the waters any more than I already. I wish you never drew my persona. I enjoyed not being a centaur. I got bad news for you, Dale. I have a couple of scheduled posts coming up. And I will say no more. But no, despite enthusiastic consent to do such a thing, if I'm in your shoes, I feel like I would not like it. Despite you saying that I'm not in your shoes and that you wouldn't mind. So it's a little bit of a double-edged sword. I think one of the most fun things that I've done recently is there's a person with a character that is very, very much NSFW, and I've taken them, and I've made them very appropriate. Like that one AI that puts all the women in bikinis on the internet into like conservative dress.
Uh-huh.
I just pulled one of those, and I was like, this is wonderful. I get it now. This character has never had clothes until now, and it's my fault. Delightfully devilish.
My brain can't keep a thought in its head right now. Hold on.
Same. What's your fursona, Dice?
What?
If you're a furry on the internet, what's your fursona?
We talked about this. I can't think of a fursona that I would want.
That's why I'm putting on you.
Probably
on the
why I'm
spot
not
right
a
now.
furry.
If you had to have one, what's it going to be?
This is my fursona. You're looking at it on the stream.
So you're a protogen. Noted. Pretty sure
No,
you have to pay the guy that's responsible for that for some like money, but like noted.
Responsible for what?
There's this whole drama because all right, I should preface this.
I'm screen
Spend a lot of
sharing
time.
the media player, by the way.
I spend a lot of time drawing. I spend a lot of time just listening to stuff. The more interesting it is, or the more absurd it is, the more likely I am to listen to it. The protogen, which is like those animals with the computer head display things. I'm sure you're familiar. You've definitely seen them.
Some kind of
The-
creepypasta thing, it sounds like.
It is not a creepypasta, although they would probably make creepypasta. Basically, they just made up this imaginary electronic animal, and then they were like, all right, hey, if you want to be a furry and use this animal, you have to pay me money. And then a bunch of people were like, no, that's stupid. Why would I do that? I'm simply going to be the animal. And then there's this whole drama about it.
So it's a closed species.
Correct. And I'll go on record. The idea of something being a closed species is insane. The amount of hubris somebody has to have to make that work is nutty. And that people would support it is also insane as well. Also, I think Dice's persona is a badger.
Badger?
Can you elaborate, Dale? What do you mean by that?
Yeah, Dale, why am I a badger?
The people want to know.
Also, I don't know why people like badgers so much.
I mean, they're kind of cute, right? Oh no, I was thinking of beavers. Never mind. Take it back. I don't know what a badger looks like. I'm trying to envision a badger and I have no idea.
I think a skunk is a type of badger.
Oh, they're weird. They're so weird. I see where you get this skunk comparison.
Let's see, now I have to look up badgers to see what you're weirded out about.
I actually think skunks look way cooler than badgers, to be honest with you.
Skunks are weird because, like, you don't think they'd look the way they do until you get close enough to take a good look at one.
What does that mean?
Like the general preconception of a skunk is that it's kind of like a cat, but it's actually not like a cat at all.
I don't have that preconception at all. I thought
Then
you were
you
talking
didn't
like
watch
Pepe Le
enough
Pew.
Pepe Le Pew enough.
Oh, I see.
But they're called polecats in some places, you know.
I have never heard them referred to as polecats.
You never
in my
heard of a
life.
polecat?
Never. That's crazy. I like it, but like, I don't even know why they would get that kind of title.
Because they got a stripe on them, like a pole.
Oh my god. People from the American East being real creative.
East? This is like the middle. Midwest.
Is this a Central Americanism?
No, Midwest.
Well, central of the United States
Central
of
America
Americanism.
is to the south, in between the two Americas.
Yeah, it's really misleading. I only care about the center of the only America that matters,
Right.
and that's the United States of America.
Speaking of
Explicitly excluding Canada.
the usage of the term Midwest is really broad, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's the largest landmass
It's like the
in
entire
the state by
the entire center of the country is the Midwest.
But it doesn't include Texas, which is very weird.
That's because Texas is south.
is just the West. What?
It's literally like the lowest point in America.
Right, but I think people would consider Texas the American West. Like the Western frontier, cowboys, gold rush, that whole thing.
I don't know. I think that was more of like a Nevada and Arizona kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean that seems fair. But like I don't consider Texas south at all. Like what's the state that borders Texas? Louisiana? Like that's where the south ends.
I suppose I don't think Texas was in the Union when there was the North and South divide going on.
I thought they were north in terms of battle lines drawn.
Texas?
They were like, yeah, because they weren't ever a slave state. When they were like in the process of incorporation, they were like, we're good.
I don't think they were a state. That's the thing.
When did Texas become its own thing? Texas statehood win.
Dale says, as a foreigner, Texas is viewed very much as the South.
I maybe that's the case, but I think as an American, if somebody was like, oh yeah, Texas is the South, you'd be like, I don't think Texas and Georgia are very similar. In the same way that you wouldn't consider Florida a part of the South.
I think the litmus test is, do you see Confederate flags in that area? And I would not be surprised.
I think you're right. I do, however, think that you are more likely to see old Betsy Blue flag in Texas than you are to see the stars and bars. Or is it Betsy or is it Bonnie Blue? I don't
Betsy?
remember. Just the blue field with the white star on it.
I don't remember that, but you probably see Texan flags quite a bit anyways.
True. It's the one state that flies their state flag over the United States flag.
Yeah.
The hubris of it all. Also, I was totally wrong. Texas seceded from the Union. Apparently, according to Encyclopedia Britannica, but I don't trust it because the British are always lying about the United States.
That's true. Can't trust them Brits. They always be like, the Americas are rebels.
Yeah, so Texas apparently seceded from the Union, but also did not join the Confederacy. They were just like, peace.
So that they
you guys
literally
fight
just
it out.
noped out of the conflict.
That's what it looks like. I'm gonna probably have to read more about that because that sounds really funny.
It does.
Texas is very stereotypically South, not Midwest. To be fair, Texas flag is way cooler than the USA flag. You're just wrong there. I'm sorry. The Texas flag is extremely boring. Their old flag, I think, was pretty cool.
Now I have to look it up.
The Bonnie blue flag. Here, I'll just post it.
I see it. It's a oh, there's a rainbow Texas flag.
You will never escape it.
Oh come on, you're calling the normal one today boring, and that's the old one you like?
Yeah, actually.
Like there's a limit to how much simplicity you can like. Go ahead.
And I think the Bonnie blue flag is peak, actually. Because it's the American flag, but if the American flag was stupid, that's what the Texas flag is. It's like, hey, you know what? We really like rectangles, and we are one state in the Union. So
Okay.
we have 3 rectangles and a star to represent that we are a state. Yeah, I hate it, actually.
Dale says the USA flag is like the pride flag. Visual overload, too much stuff.
What do you, but
Well, what's
without
the
that
Australian flag look like?
I mean, the Australian flag is not good. I will say that because the American flag is a mess, we do get the coolest like sports uniforms out of all the countries. And it's not even a competition.
We definitely have like the coolest flag-based clothing. Even though like
Absolutely.
the flag code says you're not supposed to do that, but who cares? Who cares what the government says?
Right, because it's the rule of cool. So long as it's cool, you get to break the rule.
Also, Dale, you guys literally have the British flag on your flag. Major failed on Australia's part.
Like, if you removed the British colony bit from the Northern Territory flag, we talked about it before, but it would be like real sick. It'd be real good. Real good flag. Where is the chart? I know it's here somewhere because Dale posted it before. But we simply talk too much.
Discord has been way more active than usual recently, hasn't it?
What's up with that?
I don't know. You guys are chatty Cathys. And I've been bored at work, so I can join in.
How did you feel discovering the Minesweeper roguelike?
What?
How do you feel about the Minesweeper roguelike? Did you take a peek at it? The demon crawl bit?
Are you telling me there's an actual roguelike based on Minesweeper?
Yeah, not just me saying that Minesweeper is a roguelike, but there is a roguelike that is Minesweeper derived, and it's like a proper roguelike.
I
Not
have
just like
not.
a theoretical roguelike.
I have not heard of this.
Oh my gosh. I won't bring it up then. I'll let you rest in peace, knowing that not everything in this world has been converted.
Now I have to look it up.
The British flag, the UK flag, is okay. I like the overlapping stripes. It's pretty cool.
Demon Crawl?
It is called Demon Crawl.
Hello.
Hey, Evergrade.
Come on.
Really, really strong flag as well, by the way. The Spanish flag.
Spanish.
I think that
flag.
one goes pretty hard.
Are we doing a flag tier list?
No, we'll be here all day.
The Spanish flag has that stupid coat of arms on it that's way too complicated for a flag design.
I like it because it's in the middle and it's so small that it doesn't actually matter.
Yeah, I'd like the I'm seeing it now. I'd like the coat of arms more if it was bigger, but it feels like it kind of tacked on.
I want it there on the flag like an artist's signature on a A4 canvas.
Just in the
It's like
corner.
in a little corner. Yeah.
You know what would make it better? Instead of having it in the center, you move it down a few inches so that it's just a few pixels right over the red part. The way it feels-
Philippine flag is also kind of sick.
Which flag?
The Philippine flag.
Post these in stream chat for us. I can't keep looking these up. I got thumbnails to draw, bro.
Oh, fine. We'll do the important work. Here's
There
the
you go.
Philippine flag.
Oh my god, I posted a 13 megabyte file. It's
That must have been
irresponsible.
unfair. You got the you got the RTX version, I see.
Yeah, I turned ray tracing on.
How many frames per second do I need to look at that?
Just one, thankfully. You don't even need FPS, you just need a single frame.
1 frame out of 60? I think I can handle it.
Ooh.
What other? There aren't a lot of good flags in the world. It makes me very sad. Like, the place that I call home, Washington State. You know what our flag is?
No.
What?
It's the most cursed thing. It's a picture of George Washington on a green field.
Let me
I
look at
hate
this.
this flag so much.
Oh my, that's not a flag.
You are justifiably salty about that one, I will say.
Like, you know, I think George Washington's a pretty cool guy. But the man never even went to Washington. He's never even been there. Meanwhile, the proposed replacement for like a United Cascadia is not much better either.
United Cascadia.
Hey, you're gonna have to explain that one. That doesn't ring a bell.
Cascadia refers to the states and territories that are enclosed by the Cascadian Mountains. So it's like Alaska, or like coastal Alaska, Vancouver, BC, Washington, and then Oregon. And they were like, what if we took the Washington flag and we just replaced it with this concept? And what is the concept? Oh, it's a pine tree.
Wait, wait a second. What is that for again?
It's a United Cascadia, which I, as a nationalist, question mark, like the idea of this like demographic group of people who grew up west of the Cascades being their own thing. This is just ugly. It is not good.
Also, you're gonna include freaking Canada and all that?
Well, you have to, because even though I hate them, they are like geographically similar to me.
I
Like
don't
we
know.
have the same lived experience in big quotation marks.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Koa. So that's your villain origin.
Yeah, I was just born a villain.
He was born near the Canadians, and just being in their presence, it made him do bad things, man.
I got so much Cascadia propaganda growing up, it's crazy. And I agree with it.
That must have been an adverse reaction. Like allergies.
What's what?
What's the new flag that Dale was talking about?
I don't know. I'm drawing here.
Dale says, but is it worse than the newest pride flag? Which I think the Washington flag, the one they have now, is almost certainly better, but the Cascadian flag is almost certainly worse.
I'm looking
I
at
have
the
not
Cascade.
seen the newest flag.
I'm looking at the Cascadia flag, and the dark green of the tree on top of the blue is really annoying me.
Yeah, it's like, we're here to hurt your eyes. We are here to be unpleasant to look at.
You'd think the different shades of green would be stickler, but no, the shade of blue in general just hard to make look good. It looks weirdly bright and digital.
It's like, what's the term? It's like the pure chroma. It's like they have the color picker and they go to like blue and then they just crank it all the way to the top right.
Full saturation.
Full saturation, full value, full brightness. Or no, the opposite. Like middle brightness.
Hmm.
Receiving text messages? Uh-oh.
What?
That's good.
You ever just get like a text out of nowhere and you're like, it's a Saturday afternoon. This can't be good. That was the sensation that just went through my head.
So
Understandable.
Yep. It's me whenever I get unexpected attention. I always assume it's bad.
Good news though, it was simply somebody asking for my social security number, so
Oh.
all is good. All is normal.
It's just a scam.
Yeah, no big deal.
Yeah. By the way, how was your day today, gentlemen?
I slept and I prepped for stream.
Nice. Very exciting.
I was in scripting hell, and I've learned a lot, but I wish to learn no more today.
About what?
About like
Scripting.
anything, really. But mostly scripting.
You mean writing a script?
No, like the coding, like the game stuff.
I thought
that
so.
he posted in the Discord. And you reacted to.
It's true.
Oh, that. So how's the Monster Girl roguelike going?
Yeah, what the hell is that?
Uh-oh. Is that the Palestinian flag?
Hmm.
What? Is...
Oh my gosh, the greens are different colors and are slightly different, and they're right next to each other.
Oh my god. That is...
Dale,
What
thanks.
did they mean by this?
Thanks, but we didn't need to see that.
This feels like if you drop this in like a time capsule and opened it up 30 years from now, scholars would be like, what did they mean by this?
Hmm.
Like, what is this? What is this?
That's our entire time period right now.
Gay Palestine.
Yeah, I'm sure they appreciate that.
Could not
Yes.
have two more contradictory concepts stacked on top of each other.
Hmm. Dale kept saying the new flag, and I was thinking of the one that was modeled after those funny looking windmills.
Oh, the Nazi one.
Yeah, that.
I was thinking, you said that, and I thought of the Isle of Man. You guys have all seen that one, right?
I don't know what you're
Famous-
talking about
famous
off
flag.
the top of my head.
Here, famous flag. Crowd favorite. Copy image. Funny looking window.
That is the best flag.
Tag it in, everyone. It's over. The best flag was already invented. He has spokes on arrow spokes on each foot. Like
Yeah, there's a
cowboy
lot
boots.
of stuff going on with this flag, despite its simplicity. I want one, to be honest. I would hang up this flag somewhere.
This is
Oh,
Would you put it on a flagpole?
I would, but it would have to go underneath my state and nation flag. I don't want to have the Isle of Men be the supreme authority for which I base my life around.
Isle of Men?
The Isle of... It's weird because it's like the Isle of Man. But if you're from the Isle of Man, what do you call yourself?
man.
An Isle Man.
Oh, I see.
Obviously.
Big ups, Isle of Man. We do multiple flagpoles here so that no flag is above or below another. That's lame. You should have a
The
social hierarchy.
Islemander.
If I had things my way in the United States, it would be the state flag over the country flag. And then every other flag just haphazardly below that. Unless you had like a district flag. It should be the smallest group on top, TBH. But instead, we hate individualism.
Hmm.
So sad.
No
So depressing.
no inspectors to mandate randomness in people's design, so they have to be like everyone else.
Dale, do you like the United States Union Jack?
I know what that is, but I need to look it up.
Oh, you know what it is.
No, if I see it, it'll click. Like when someone tells me someone's name, but I see their face and I know who they are. Union Jack. Um, it's all right if it's all right if you just want to part of the flag.
Oh no, not that one.
Mm, I'm getting a few. I'm getting a few examples. Wait, is that it?
Yeah, the naval jack. Apologies.
Unless you are you the one who made this? 'Cause
I am
someone
not
should
the
be-
one who made that.
Okay, well, someone should be apologizing. Is this
Dale has nailed why I love it so much. That not even the right snake.
legally distinct? Don't tread on me, state. Don't walk upon I.
There's a parody of that flag, of the Gadsden flag, that I love to death.
MS
Oh, wait.
Paint Snake.
It's the Trident one.
Dreaded.
I don't believe you. Prove it by posting it in the stream chat.
I'm looking for it. If I can't find it, I'll have to make it myself, which won't be hard.
Or can it be the one you posted, which is Dale's new favorite ripoff Gadsden?
Because there's the one that says no snap on snack. And I think that one's miserable. I think that one's trying too hard to be funny.
I don't know, it's just a product of its time.
You're correct.
It's a little.
But I
old.
don't like its time. You know, this one, without any cultural whatever surrounding it, I like. If you remove everything that surrounds that flag and just have the statement shoot back, I'm for it.
Just the shoot back flag.
Yeah, the shoot back flag. This one is also representative of the reality in which we live. Um, and then there's also this one that I like a great deal.
That's really good.
I look up longsword thrust, and I just get
Oh.
like technical drawings.
Isn't that exactly what you want? It's either that or AI artwork of what you're looking for.
I want something in perspective.
I hope you're able to put
This-
things into perspective.
Freaking pose is giving me a pain because I'm not entirely sure how it should be, how the arms should be.
All right, I can't find Trident anywhere, so I will stop with that one.
Sad.
There are so many like Gadsden flag parodies. They're very good. Like the OG Gadsden flag, I'm a big fan of. There's another one which has leftist meme energy, where it's the Gaston flag coiled around a grenade, and he just says like, "I swear to God, I will kill us both right here." I also just like really like whatever shade of yellow that is. Like I'm not a big yellow fan or a big orange fan in general, but that specific shade is like very aesthetically nice.
I do appreciate the yellows that have a bit of orange in them.
Because most of the time, like it's aggressive. It's like this shade of yellow is here to ruin your day.
They're what we
Yeah,
call
yeah.
dangerously yellow.
Would you rather be dangerously yellow or dangerously cheesy?
Can't you technically be both?
You can, but you have to choose one to start, and then later on in the RPG, you branch out into the other.
Can I get yellow as a class trait later on? I'm not hearing a no. In fact, I'm not hearing anything.
Nope.
I had to get another egg roll.
This boy comes into my stream eating.
I can't imagine ever doing something like that.
What?
I'm whispering to the missus.
Oh.
Gotcha.
I'm stealing egg rolls from the kitchen. I'm trading secrets.
Curious.
I'll be right back, because even though I'm going to eat on your stream, I don't want everybody to know that I'm eating on your stream.
Well, let it be known here that that we do not know for sure if Goeth is eating on your stream, Dice.
Yeah, I wonder if Cohead's eating on the stream.
It's a mystery. The world may never know.
Let's ask Mr. Owl.
Let's.
Where's he at? Mr. Howlow, is Cohet eating on my stream? Yes, he says yes. He didn't even have to count the Tootsie Pops.
Glad we could get to the center of this case so easily. Crunchy, chocolatey center.
Good thing Cohet incriminated himself.
That does speed up the process. How far have you gotten into the illustrations?
This is number 3.
Out of 4, correct?
Out of 8.
Oh, okay.
You're going at a record pace here, Dice.
I'm doing
Out of 8
complex
is
action
crazy.
poses here.
You're not wrong, but like 8, Patron really set you up to suffer. That's crazy.
I assumed it would
I don't
be
think
4.
Patron didn't decide on the number.
Oh, I see. Man, I didn't realize you were such a masochist.
His ways are beyond our understanding, Goeth.
But I do expect to only do like this as 4 and 4, you know. So I'll try to thumbnail all of it today, but I expect to take a break in between the first and the second part because it's kind of set up as a first half and leading up into a second half.
That's
Are you
good
going
to
to
hear.
color them all, or are you going to keep it like you did the first time with like lighter coloring?
I'll probably do black and white shading a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That's the intent.
All right.
Also, oh, you found Steppen. Dale found Steppen.
Finally, Steppent in the high detail we need.
We found the ones that we ourselves could not find for
The
each other.
Australian
That's
did
teamwork.
what the Yankees could not.
Oh my god.
Okay, never mind. I
Don't
hate
give
it.
him that kind of satisfaction.
This is what happens when I give an Australian credit. It's
What
never
did
gonna
you do?
happen.
Oh,
It's never gonna happen again, you scary upside down man.
Dale going above and beyond here.
You'll find yourself in one heck of a darn diddly unfortunate situation if you go stepping on this here personage, boy.
Okay, that one is actually amazing.
Here's a question. Because like I find it curious that sometimes there's like a ton of text and I go, this is awful. This is too much text. This isn't funny at all. But then other times you get stuff like that second flag where I'm like, this is perfect.
There's an art to the text. I think it's called being verbose.
If the amount of text is part of the joke, then it makes it good.
I see.
Yeah.
So it's like self-awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah, self-awareness instead of just endless salt.
I want to draw this snake. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm like, yeah.
Well, I hope
Love
you're happy, Dale. You made Goeth want to draw. That's not something artists want to do.
He's supposed to be coding.
No, I said earlier, I'm done learning new stuff today. When you asked me if what you said made sense, that was the final neuron connection that I formed all day.
When I spoke pidgin English to you.
Exactly. That took it out of me.
Do you know about pidgin English, Evergrade? Have you been inducted to the pidgin?
I saw a bit of it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but is that having things written as they're pronounced by people's accents?
Sort of. I mean, effectively, but also no. Check out the BBC Pigeon link that's posted in the chat.
BBC Pidgin is like the prime example.
How do you turn a person into a crow? What does that mean?
What?
Dale's out here saying stuff like, could you turn me into a trapdoor spider or a crow? Or like a normal monster instead?
Bird Dale incoming. Give me a minute.
What do you mean? Give
I
you
don't
a minute? That's so sinister.
I'm just joking. I don't know if I can draw something. However,
famous
mean I
last.
can't.
However,
I really shouldn't. However,
I shouldn't, but I will.
oh, did you guys do anything special for Pi Day that has just passed? You guys get
No.
a American classic and a sweet apple pie.
We don't celebrate that false holiday over here.
I mean, it is false, but it's like fun.
I like. I mean, I'm fine with eating pie. Eating pie, but I was busy doing. I was busy that day.
What were you busy with?
Work,
So
which
busy you
was-
couldn't celebrate Pie Day.
You couldn't like have a pie on Pie Day?
Nope, we didn't have pie, and I heard about it once, and it flew right out of my head.
Man, people care more about Mar 10s than pies. Insane. This is what's wrong with society.
I, for the record, am going to add a creature in this thing.
Okay. What is the creature? Is it a cheapie?
No, it's Chevlog.
Yeah,
I have never heard of Chevlog. What is this creature?
he evolves from Swamper, doesn't he?
Yes.
I
Is he
have
the
heard of Swamper.
Is he the second or third phase?
There he is. He's in stream
Oh,
chat.
I have seen Chevlog.
There
I
he
take it back.
third phase. There he is.
I don't think I've ever heard you say his name before. I felt like a crazy person for a second.
He isn't one I talk about much, to be fair.
I mean, he's kind of just there. Like, he fits the niche that he's for, and there's like not much else that you need to say about him. He's kind of just like the pseudo Wudo of creatures.
Kinda.
I wouldn't describe him as such.
Actually, no.
How would you describe him?
I don't know, like a wooden construct.
Yeah.
Yep. That makes sense.
What Minecraft mod would you play that had a mod that looked like this, or a mob that looked like this?
I don't know.
His design reminds me of a Minecraft. Dale, what mod was that? Or something that's actually in Terraria.
Oh, this is something Dale's saying?
Yep,
Yeah.
we got Dale posting going on in the chat.
Dale's always just out there yapping.
I was like, go ahead, what are you talking about?
If only I knew, I would be able to tell you.
You can say.
Duplicate.
Okay, we're gonna have to bring him down a tad.
Are you trying to avoid too much overlapping?
It's just his shield wasn't raised enough. And I think I should do the opposite actually and raise the shield up instead of bring the rest of him down now that I'm looking at it. I want him to be like in a defensive charging posture.
Like as if he's ramming the shield into someone.
As if he's he's like charging with his shield out in front.
I
You
see.
know.
When I see that, I always think of the image of the person with the shield having their sword raised up, ready to bring it down.
His sword would be behind the shield from this perspective.
I see.
Let's see. Something like so, probably.
Something about him seems a little curious.
Who exactly?
The
Chevalog?
the Chevalog.
The one
Like,
I'm
I feel like
drawing
he-
right now?
Correct, because his spine does not go. His notional spine does not like travel in a straight line appropriately.
Dale, I don't know how to break this to you,
You're right.
but
His hips are
trees-
disjointed.
I know what you mean. But trees don't have spines.
I know, that's why I said notional. Cut me some slack.
Trees don't have slack either. They have bark.
You can make a rope out of a tree, and with this rope, you can have slack.
Fair enough.
I know
You
it's
can-
I know
you
it's
can also-
extra steps, but
Well,
This-
you can also
Just a little bush crafting.
just just a little bit of the first survival tool humanity had.
we do like to turn the trees into paper, so that's not the strangest thing I've heard. I've
Turning
never thought
trees
about them.
into paper is kind of mental if you think about it.
The description of why paper soaks up water kind of sold it home for me because it's all dried pulp, and it's the pulp just soaking in the water that was taken out of it.
Return to the tree that which was stolen from it.
The lifeless husk yearns to be what it once was.
Treebeard in the distance, screaming in agony.
The Lorax is not happy.
Ay, ay, ay. Did you guys see? I saw an AI advertisement for a new Lord of the Rings movie that was created using Peter Jackson's work.
What do you mean?
Effectively, they just they ran a bunch of Peter Jackson stuff through, not Midjourney, and it's not Sora because that's not out yet. But it was some other AI video processor, and it was just so interesting.
Interesting.
That's an interesting way of putting it, Colette. What kind of stuff
You
did it
know-
show?
What can I say? I'm very level-headed, and I have no strong opinions on anything.
Just like the fortune cookie said.
Let me see if I can find this. I'll drop it in the chat for you guys. Okay, yeah, no, that was actually really easy to find. It's-
Is it really worth looking at if you don't have to scroll through a whole length of Twitter posts to find something?
I
What?
was just surprised at how quickly it came up is all. But I find it interesting that the comments are like, when an AI video looks a lot better than a $1 billion show, AI, fine, I'll do it myself. This already looks way better than the actual series. And I'm gonna be honest. I think these people don't have eyeballs.
In the vast tapestry of
I
Middle
think
Earth,
they just might hate. They might just hate Rings of Power.
Hold on,
I think you're right.
I'm looking at the video here.
That's a
a second
fair
age
assumption, but
unfolds,
I think you're
a time of
entirely
grandeur
right.
and
I think their
tumult,
hatred has,
shaping
ironically
the destiny
enough,
of the
blinded
world.
them.
As the echoes of the first age fade, a new chapter begins.
oh my god.
Numenor, the island kingdom
Also, I
of
hate
men,
this like
emerges as a mighty
jump
power
cut
in the great
style
sea,
that all these
gifted
AI
by the valor
advertisements
for their aid
just
against
because
Morgoth
generating anything
in the
longer
first
than
age.
5 seconds is
Yet, in the
annoying.
shadows, Sauron, once Morgoth's lieutenant, rises again. He seduces the hearts of the elves, dwarves, and men, enticing them with the craft of the rings of power.
The deeds that we shall do shall be the matter of song till the last days of Arda.
It was like a lot of AI stuff that makes it kind of surreal to look at. It has tells that sometimes more obvious than others, and this one actually made me more kind of uncomfortable to look at because there was this weird jiggliness in like half of the shots, especially if there was a lot going on.
That was
Oh, yeah,
weird.
This is what's gonna say. This is what's gonna save the companies so that they can have infinite profit growth forever.
So that's the thing that I saw this week. That made me go, huh? Weird.
I still don't care about AI. I care about. I also wonder how well it's actually gonna work if people try to replace artists, because then the people who make the AI realize, oh wait, you're relying on us to solve all of your problems. How much should I charge for that?
I've heard rumblings that over in China, a lot of things have already tried to replace artists with AI, and it turns out the AI companies just raised their prices. So it became it became less cost effective anyways.
What? Long-term thinking? That won't get me my profits in an instant.
I mean, I had a thought and it just like disappeared into the aether. That was crazy.
Please stop.
Welcome
being
to my
relatable.
world.
It hurts.
I'm kind of the opinion that AI will almost certainly replace a lot of things, and replace a lot of things because the end consumer actually just doesn't care. Like, I'm super pessimistic on media consumption, where I feel like most people will simply consume anything that's put in front of them as a product so long as it's good enough. And I think most AI is good enough. As evidenced by the comments saying this is way better than the series or whatever. Even though I do think most of those are inspired out of hate.
Rings of Power seems like a pretty low bar.
Most likely.
It seems like most of the gung-ho-ness for AI is driven by the complete mediocre nature of current media, more so than actual love for AI.
People would be less upset if modern stuff wasn't all would hate AI. The AI. can't talk.
You'll get there.
Dale
It takes a
says
while to-
Rings of Power deserves the hate.
Yeah.
Rings of Power deserves the hate. See, I've never watched it, so I just don't know.
I don't care. Everything I've seen has given me the idea that it was made in bad faith, and I'm not too interested in Lord of the Rings in the first place.
I am way over hate watching anything myself.
No hate watching.
I watched somebody else watch all of the Velma animated series that was put out,
Go with
and
one,
that
it
was
would be-
pretty fun.
What I've seen of that whole Velma series makes it seem like it's a parody of the thing people think it is.
That's what it feels like when I was watching somebody else watch it. I was like, this has some like strangely and uniquely funny situations that I don't quite understand.
Like I've seen the thing where they like turn Shaggy black and stuff, and then they have like a whole scene where I don't know, like he gets Velma pregnant or something, and like when the paternity test comes out, he like runs away.
Yeah, okay, so this scene is so
It's
Velma's
like how do you not make that deliberately as a joke is what I'm saying. Like it feels like a parody.
You're right.
That is
It's
something.
It's absurdist at worst. That entire scene is insane though, because it's Velma's mom goes missing, Velma's dad remarries, and then when the mom comes back, she has like amnesia, and they don't want her to remember things or discover that the world has changed for some reason. So they have to get rid of Velma's dad's like current wife. And so they're just like, oh yeah, this woman is actually married to Shaggy, and this is Shaggy's baby. And then when they do that, he's just like, all right, peace, I'm out, I'm running. So it's not even his baby that he's running away from.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's a series. It is definitely one of the animations. Although I would never probably recommend it to anyone. Because it's just like whatever, you know? It's like there's not really much in there outside of a couple of jokes every now and again interspersed between like agony.
What a
Sounds
glowing
fun.
endorsement.
Some people like that. Some people like
Agony?
being, yeah.
I think
Some
normies
people
do.
like agony. I don't think so. I don't think there were a lot of normal people that watched Velma. I think very few people actually watched past like the middle of it. I don't know. Did you watch
Yeah.
Velma? Yeah. The missus says she has not watched Velma, so I can confirm that like good, reasonable, upstanding people have not seen Velma.
That makes me feel better about things, Colette. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good to hear that your good, reasonable wife, who is probably
Who
maybe
married
in
you.
earshot, knows that.
No, I have the headphones on. This is a secret stream.
Ah, gotcha.
Actually, when I think about it, I do stand by this idea that people will watch virtually anything so long as it's good enough. And I do still feel like AI, for the most part, is good enough. However, the amount of stuff that is not produced by AI and is not coming close to good enough recently is probably more concerning than the AI itself, actually.
Yeah. I mean, most of the people who are in favor of AI, their reasoning is, well, Hollywood sucks, so.
I kind of would agree with them. However, it's been my experience that a lot of the people that are super into AI also are just like very lazy and looking for like real fast and easy ways to do things without
Have we
like
just-
having to learn anything.
Have we discussed that one post about the AI guy who got salty about someone stealing his prompt?
Did we? I know I've seen
feel
it,
like we
and I
have.
know I laughed for like 30 minutes straight when I saw it.
And he got dunked on by someone who animated on One Piece.
I think we've talked about it on stream.
It feels
Yeah,
like
I'm pretty
we
sure we
did,
have.
but I don't know.
We
That
have.
could be a Mandela effect because it feels like something that's so obvious that we wouldn't have talked about. I can't remember specifically how the conversation went.
I remember, I don't know if this was my opinion then, but it's my opinion now that that must have been parody because there's no way that that was real.
Maybe
Is that the consensus
Maybe
now
don't
that
know.
the event has passed?
I don't know.
No, I've never seen anyone think it was parody.
Everyone in my circles has been like, this is obvious parody, you dummy. There's no way
Your
that
friends
this
are
is
very-
real.
I appreciate the optimism, but I don't know. Like, it didn't feel the way it was. It didn't feel like parody.
Engagement bait has driven Twitter people to do some retarded things.
Everyone on Twitter talks like they want to start a fight.
Paying people for ads shown on their tweets is probably the worst thing Musk has done.
I thought it worked like that before.
No,
Oh, okay.
that was one of his babies.
Okay, it's not that I don't believe you, but it feels like that would make sense because of how Twitter has been for years.
Well, I mean, if you have a large enough group of people following you on social media, it's not like difficult to monetize it. So you don't really need the inbuilt monetization features that a platform would have to offer. You would just like reach out to a company and be like, hey, XP Pen, I'm an artist. I have artists following me. I would like to advertise your product. How much for an advertisement? Or how much are you willing to pay? And it's like not that rough. But the second you say you don't have to reach out to people, we'll just monetize your existence if you're interesting enough, that's when it got like bad.
And it's not
Fine.
just if you're interesting enough, it's if people see ads in the comments on your post.
Right.
So this incentivizes people to say batshit crazy stuff just to get people to comment on their post.
The meme of says something stupid. Lot of trigger people in the comments.
Exactly.
Yeah, money was a mistake.
Sounds like a lot of commie gobbledygook to me.
It's like, have you seen the post that was going around that some I don't know, some model was making, where she just like bitches about a tomboy
Oh
and
yeah,
says if you like tomboys you're gay.
I remember that specifically because someone thought it was not really a psyop, but just some engagement bait for Black Rifle Coffee to earn ad revenue. Because apparently there were a bunch of few women who did it, and they were all associated with them.
Yeah, this also happened this week, didn't it? Almost forgot all about it.
I think it was last week.
It was last week? I thought it was this week.
It feels like it was this week, but I don't think it was.
Oh my god. Yeah, that one was crazy. I don't know why. I don't know what possesses people to see that and respond to that. Like, if I see that, I'm like, this is a crazy person who is obviously attention seeking, and I will not engage with this person. Like what possesses a person to be like, no, I like tomboys. That doesn't make me gay. You're weird. Like what possesses a person to go online and just like have to defend themselves?
I don't know, being
To a
right.
stranger on the internet.
You gotta prove your right to random internet person number 27,000.
I don't get it. It feels like if you already encounter somebody that's insane, who has such an incorrect opinion, you go into it knowing that nothing you can do could ever help this person come to the light.
I don't think most people engaging with the post were trying to convince the poster of their error.
It
What
feels
were
like
they
a lot
doing
of people get into arguments trying to do
Mocking
that.
them.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, that's just rude.
and it, like
Well, she wants engagement.
Don't give it to her, you know? Like, it's... You create the world you want to see for yourself. And if you just want people to be dumb on the internet, and their reward is the engagement they get from being dumb on the internet, I don't know why people are so, like, eager to encourage people being silly. Maybe one day I'll understand, but it's definitely not 2024.
I
This might
think
be a
you'll
2027.
I think you'll be okay, not for understanding that.
Oh, hey, you
Well,
sound
I
like
want to.
you sound like you live in this fantasy world where people in real life with actual power in the real world don't take things on Twitter seriously.
I mean, they do, but that's because people without the power that they want to manipulate also take the things on Twitter seriously. So they can co-op like the populist wave, or what they perceive to be a populist wave.
You're reminding me of the fact that mainstream news will see a tweet and try to make a news story about it. So thanks.
Yeah, the thing
Oh, but
is,
then-
it's so easy to falsely manipulate things through social media if you are an unscrupulous person who is willing to do things like bot and buy engagement, that you can really fake it if there's no actual pushback against it.
Speaking of bots, I wonder how much of a lot of people's followings are organic or not.
I just got a new bot follower today. Hey there,
If you're-
Lessie Chattin. I see I can earn daily USDT, finger pointing down. And I assume
Wow.
you are 20 years old since the number 20 is in your bio. That's pretty old for a bot, not gonna lie.
You got
Yeah, most
yourself
of
a
them are
vintage
like
bot.
6 months. That's crazy. I think most people's followings on social media are probably like 70-30. 70% real people, 30% bot.
Okay, scrolling down in the who to follow list on this profile, we have Admiral Whackass, whose bio
Excellent
says
username.
whose bio says upcoming books, Down Syndrome Hitler, Pussy Money, and Pipe Master coming soon. Whack/ass, Booze Maximalist. I don't think I'll follow that guy. Thanks for the suggestion, though, Twitter. That was nice on the stream.
That's the Confucius of our day and age, man. Right there.
Down Syndrome Hitler. That's...
Oh, gosh. I like the term Booze Maximalist. That's an RPG class right there. Against the Storm is on sale.
What's that?
It's a game.
No.
It's a city builder.
What kind of game?
It's a roguelike city builder.
Dice's favorite.
I actually like Against the Storm. It's a nice chill game.
Would you say that it is worth it for the $20 price tag?
Probably. Although I'm sure it's changed a lot since the last time I played it, because I was seeing pretty big changes when it was in early access back when I was still playing the game. But if the core gameplay is the same, which I assume it is, then it's probably worth your time. If you like city builders and roguelikes.
I've never seen this happen, but the all reviews score is overwhelmingly positive, while the recent reviews is just very positive.
Huh.
Literally unplayable.
That's so weird. Normally it's like games start bad and then become good.
It may be that it's just getting too complicated for people.
I see. It's lost the
Simplicity.
niceness of it.
There is... It's pretty deep in a lot of ways. And it can be kind of tough. Because that's the thing, since it's a roguelike. And it's a city builder. Usually city builders are just kind of chill. And just let you do whatever. But with Against the Storm, there's a pretty serious chance of all your people dying and just losing the game.
Just because that's a part of the gameplay loop.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm really waiting for Elden Ring to go on sale.
That'll probably happen around the time that... Actually, will it? Could it happen around the time the DLC comes out?
I have no idea. Like, I feel like FromSoft never discounts their stuff.
They probably wouldn't want to discount it right when the incentive to buy it comes out. Because...
Yeah, I thought about that and I thought, no, that doesn't make sense.
I mean, Bandai Namco, who used to be in charge of FromSoft, used to do that with all their fighting games. Like, you'd get a new season pass for a fighting game, and then you drop the fighting game like 30% to encourage people who weren't already playing it to pick up both. Like, I feel like So, Elden Ring came out. I watched everyone play through Elden Ring. And now enough time has passed that I no longer am aware of what has happened in the game. So I'm like, now it's my turn.
My time to shine.
I have a couple of games in my library that I'm waiting to forget so that I can play them again. I don't know if you guys ever have that feeling.
Kinda. Like, this is a problem I have with a lot of games, is just that there's no incentive to replay them.
That's something it depends on the game. It's very hard for me to play a game unless it's very short and arcadey, like Star Fox, where the game is an hour long, but I played 64, and the depth comes from like trying to get a high score without dying and figuring out all the different unique paths you can take. That I can get into. Unfortunately, rail shooters are very niche, so there's not a lot to choose from.
I mean, I want to forget Subnautica because like that was
Oh,
an
that's a
awesome
good
game.
one.
But right now, I just know what happens in Subnautica. So when I boot it up, I'm just like, oh, I can speed run this game in 40 minutes. Wanna forget Cyberpunk as well? Because everyone disliked that game when it came out. I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was pretty fun. I didn't have any like technical issues or anything with it.
I think people were upset by the technical issues and the advertising over-promising a lot on what the game could offer. My friend Gonzo really loves the game. I've seen him play it. I see why. If the expectations were just lowered and the game came out in a more stable state, it wouldn't have that initial have that initial bad taste stuck to it.
You know what? I think it was. Yeah, the expectations were so high because everyone just loved The Witcher, which had been out for like, what, 10 years? And was like being developed all 10 of those years. So it was literally like first in class as a narrative RPG. I hated The Witcher.
Really?
Conceptually. So I was just into Cyberpunk because it promised to be like a dystopian future RPG. And I was like, yeah, this is fun. This is good.
Okay, I thought you were going to say I got into Cyberpunk by having my expectations lowered so vastly by The Witcher. That pleasant surprise.
I mean, that was kind of it, because I was a hesitant buy on Cyberpunk.
What made you take the leap for Cyberpunk?
I really like the concept of living in modern day California.
I see. It's definitely a less hazardous way of doing that.
Yeah, no, this is playing Cyberpunk and everything that comes with it is safer than like stepping outside of my IRL home today. So, no, when it came out, I was like, this looks nice. It seems cool. It promises to be narratively interesting. You get cool hacking powers. I don't know, just like hit a lot of real cool
hacking
points for me.
Rule of cool.
Honestly, yeah, that was it. Rule of cool. And then I got it, and I discovered that you couldn't get the Mantis arm blades until you were like level 30, which took like 5 hours of gameplay, and I was mad.
5 hours? That's enough for you?
It gets
That's
good after
too
5
much.
hours. Trust me, guys.
It seems pretty
wasn't-
a low threshold for an RPG.
Maybe.
Yeah,
But please keep in mind that I play roguelikes that typically take 40 minutes to complete an entire game.
This is true.
I think it's fair to give a game like 20 minutes, maybe an hour at most, before you decide if it's not even if it's good, if it's for you. Because there are times where like I tried out Hades, rented it from a library. I played it for a bit. I can see the appeal, but just the way it felt and running through things constantly, I realized, no, I don't like this, and put it back.
Yeah, I hate Hades. I don't like that game at all. And people are always on about how it's the best top-down roguelike that's ever existed.
Oh, that's
Like,
a bold
nah, man.
one.
Top down.
Hades
That's
is...
That's
That's a low bar.
what's your best top-down roguelike?
Nuclear Throne, probably. Nuclear Throne is kind of sick.
I feel like I've played that one, but I can't.
I've
There's a
seen
famous
this
loading
before.
screen. It says fish can roll. It's a pretty fast-paced shooter. And then after Nuclear Throne, it's Enter the Gungeon, which is largely inspired by Nuclear Throne.
Yeah, I was looking at Nuclear Throne and I thought, and Enter the Gungeon popped into my head.
Yeah, Nuclear Throne is like Enter the Gungeon's dad who went to work at the coal mine. So it didn't really have as many opportunities as its son did, but it paved the way for his future entrance into like Harvard University.
I'm glad Nuclear Throne was able to come back with the milk.
Yeah, Nuclear Throne was from Pennsylvania.
Cool. glad the Pennsylvanians did something worthwhile.
You and me both. Other great top-down roguelikes. 20 Minutes Till Dawn is a 20-minute long roguelike. Surprise, surprise.
Never would have guessed.
There's also a really cool one called Bioprototype where you like build a cell into a killing machine over
I've
the course
seen
of
you
a
play
number
that
of
one
rounds.
before. It's
But-
like a Vampire Survivor type of thing.
Yeah, it's Vampire Survivors, but the twist is you use like little logic puzzles to build your character. Yeah, it
this
is
looks
very
interesting.
good.
By the way, gentlemen, I've done it.
What have you done?
I've done as requested.
Uh-oh.
Let me just find it.
Also,
Okay,
there's this game.
I gave you one of your. I'll post this in the stream chat. I gave you one. I gave Dale one of the things he asked for, and so just assume he's talking to Koeth.
Is this Dale as a crow? This is really good. I kind of love this.
Dale's got
It's
a
a
crow
big
sona
build-up.
now.
You're welcome, Dale. You're now a birdie.
Why'd you give him that haircut?
That's the hair.
Why'd you
That's
do
his
him
avatar.
like that?
That's his avatar's haircut.
Absolutely brutalized.
I thought it would be the best way to make him distinct. But the more I look at it, it is kind of gross. I may have done something mean, but this.
He's straight out of Hot Topic, circa 2011.
Also,
One of
that
my-
is definitely a pill and not an egg, despite how it looks.
It does look like an egg. It does not look like a normal pill. PM. There's the top-down roguelike, The Binding of Isaac, which is in one of my top 5 least liked roguelike games of all time.
Any specific reason, or or is it general?
I think that the main reason is spite, because it has that situation going where it has first mover's advantage, and because it's old, people say it's good, when in reality, I think that if it came out today, people would be like, this sucks.
What about anything specific? I really don't. I don't know exactly what makes a roguelite feel good in relation to others.
It's just boring most of the time.
Okay.
So it has like the inbuilt like spite, that I personally have towards it, which is like if it came out today, nobody would care. But also it's just not very like interesting 95% of the time. However, Edmund McMillan did a game after Binding of Isaac called The Legend of Bumbo, which is a Connect 4 puzzle game that is also a roguelike. And this game is substantially better than The Binding of Isaac.
Connect 4,
But-
are we talking like Bejeweled?
Yeah, kind of like Bejeweled, except instead of swapping, you like scroll rows and columns.
Okay.
I didn't know.
Uh,
I didn't know that was how the gameplay worked.
yeah, it's real good. Much better than The Binding of Isaac. But
That does
because it
sound
came out when it
interesting.
did, nobody cares.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm looking
Gone for it.
for a good first-person shooter roguelike.
First-person shooter roguelike. That sounds very specific.
You think it would be, but there are like tons. For example, you have Heavy Bullet or Heavy Bullets, which is okay. You have Mother Gunship, which is the sequel in quotations to Tower of Guns. Both of those are fascinating but boring. And then I think those are the only 3 first-person shooter roguelikes that I've played. But I'm looking for a good one because I think the potential exists. Like I want a first-person shooter roguelike that's like Borderlands in terms that it's just like a loot treadmill of you getting progressively more and more ridiculous equipment, but also with like that kind of frenetic pace and like individual character power system.
Okay. that
Coheed
sounds it.
looter shooter roguelike is something I would definitely be behind if it existed.
I don't have the like intellectual capacity to learn enough to produce one. So I'll keep my eye open, and if I find one that comes out, you'll be the first person I tell. Oh,
No,
the
no
best
roguelike,
one-
looter shooter, new monster girl game for us, guys.
furry
Coeth was
first-person
weak.
shooter roguelike is actually real good.
What?
The Gunfire Reborn is actually the best first-person shooter roguelike, but it has stuff in it that I don't like. Mainly the fact that it exists.
What is?
I don't
Okay.
like the fact that you don't get to keep your equipment because that's the whole point of a looter shooter to me.
Yeah, I'm seeing a bit of a contradiction of keeping your equipment and being a roguelike. Pick one.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of the problem is that in a lot of roguelikes that have substantially strong equipment options is that the roguelike is too short for the equipment that you're picking up. Maybe. I don't know, actually. I think about it. I don't know.
You mean as in you finish it or you die too fast?
Like you finish it. Like, but I don't know if it's better to have like a 3-hour roguelike game that you have to complete in like multiple sessions where you get like really strong equipment that you like get to actually use and like modify, or if it's better to have like a 30-minute roguelike looter shooter where you're just constantly cycling stuff out for the duration of the game.
Hmm.
And I prefer the ones with long-term stuff every time.
Yeah.
Which is makes sense as to why you like Against the Storm.
Yeah. Also, just the fact that city builders on their own kind of get old really fast.
Mm-hmm.
So making
Have
it
you
like difficult and then on a instance per instance basis is kind of more interesting.
Have you seen the absolute horror that has been the like launch of City Skylines 2?
I heard about it with I believe one problem was the NPCs not only looking ugly, which could be fine since they're at a distance, they're being unnecessarily over-rendered.
Oh,
They're
is
being
that the one where they had performance issues because like literally every little detail was too detailed?
Yeah.
Yes, they did not have a level of detail slider. So everything was just maximum from the get-go. And then once they fixed that, it still ran like garbage.
Yeah.
And the main issue people were having, because people love the first City Skylines. Like that, people are like, this is the city building game. This is like the standard all other city builders should hold themselves to. But then Skylines 2 comes out and it has half of the features that were in the first game. The performance is worth the simulations that it's running to be more realistic, have negligible impacts on the actual gameplay and are just eating up CPU. Like, you don't need to know what the humidity is in your city builder, especially if it's going to use an entire like CPU thread. Like, so it was just, it's like kind of a niche game because it's a city builder, but the degree to which it's like been absolutely lambasted is impressive.
I wasn't paying attention, but I think that should say, no, I don't normally pay attention to that. So the fact that someone like me was able to hear about it does show that it reached pretty far. I think that I remember one picture showing that apparently showed off that the models had their anuses actually rendered in as well.
There's no way.
I'm not gonna look that up.
I would, if I put myself in the shoes of a 3D modeler that's working on a video game for a company like Paradox, I don't think that's getting into the models. I don't think I'm including that.
What do you mean? I thought it was here to make low poly models.
Were you a temporary hire that is about to be laid off?
Actually, I'm a sweet baby appointee, so maybe.
Oh, you're the diversity hire. Well, that's what we get for getting low wage talent. I mean, being inclusive. Speaking of which, I believe this is an art stream. How's that going?
It's going.
Hey.
I'm not entirely sure where I want to place certain things, but we're getting there.
Well, that's why we have the sketch phase.
This whole thing is going to be sketch phase.
Exactly. The extended sketch phase, the new meta.
We're drawing for Patron right now.
What a lucky guy. What a lucky rat.
A good old Patron, spending so much time in the creatures' minds.
Patron's persona is definitely a mouse, right?
It's a pig.
Like,
I think it's a hamster.
Like, I know it's a pig or a hamster or whatever the heck that thing is, but like, real talk, it's just like a rat.
It's a pig.
Respectfully.
It's a mammal, but it looks like a hamster. I thought it was a hamster. He was a hamster, and
Did
apparently,
Patron say
according
it was a pig?
he did. According to him, I believe he said that people thought someone actually thought it was a fish, though I'm not 100% sure about that.
I can see the fish.
Mainly because of the ears, which kind of look like fins, a little, but they're too high up for that. In my opinion, so I didn't see him like that.
Like if I squint my eyes, I'm like, yeah, that's a koi fish. That makes sense.
Yeah, kind of.
Like looking at it from the top. I want to see the rest of the patron pig body. I don't like viewing the profile image from the, hey, I showed you my mouse girl. Please respond.
Still looking up his nose angle.
Yeah.
What should the eggs of a Glarva / Magman look like?
I think you should lean into build them off of like the Glarva. Just have them. I like having them be a ball, maybe a ball or an oval with glowing in the center.
Oh, I know. We'll make it like the little bulb on their tails.
Oh, that's
but
good.
Like more enclosed.
Sure. He's got it, folks.
What is, are they in the air? What's going on in this image?
Well, I haven't drawn any 4 in yet.
Oh, I see.
I assumed that they were in.
They're in mines, so this is like a cave.
That's what I assumed.
Right. For some reason, I thought they were being like launched.
Some bugs can fly.
That one. There it is. Yeah, so let's gonna merge all these together so I don't have to keep finding which layer is which one. Make like a little earthen cradle around it. So y'all seen that Stellar Blade game that has been the target of much discourse?
I've seen bits here and there. I mentioned on Twitter, the main takeaway I get is that I keep thinking of Nier Automata. On a general sense, at least.
Yeah, I think it's generally just a near clone, like intentionally.
I don't. Yeah, the director of Nier commented on it, and it's a few years old. I think it's very directly inspired. I don't know. Some of the gameplay seemed kind of cool. A lot of
Yeah, I'll be
people.
honest.
Yeah.
When I look at that game, it is the most not for me game I've seen since Near Automata. Like
That tracks.
I see action adventure game with a cute lady as the protagonist, and I go, I don't want to play this. Like, what's so special about it? Like, when I don't understand what is special about Stellar Blade.
Sure, either, to be honest.
The main thing that's special is that it's not an ugly game.
I've actually seen some thoughts on that, and I'm with the opinion that Sony is absolutely going to censor it as soon as it comes out as the typical bait and switch. Because that's what a lot of people, what's driving a lot of hype. That it's not censored and a lot of stuff like that when it's a PlayStation exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
Is that
However,
all it takes though for a game to be like good in the eyes of the people? Is that it just needs to be tittillating?
Let's
Kinda.
just say it's not deliberately trying to look bad, is what gets people interested.
Yeah, I know it can be a bad thing, but people are easy to please, so this shouldn't be this this game in itself shouldn't be that a game like this shouldn't be, or at least having the hooks it does shouldn't be that hard to do without completely flipping the table at the last second after people have given their money to it.
There's also the fact that the sweet baby types are like just having a meltdown over it because of it.
Was it going on there anything specific this week? I know it happened. I just don't recall any specific discourse.
I don't remember anything specifically, no. Just,
Okay.
It's been a consistent thing on the Twitter timeline that's been popping up.
Yeah, when
Mm.
I look at it, it says more games like Stellar Blade on the PlayStation 5 store, Near Automata, Devil May Cry 5, Jedi, Fallen Order, Sekiro, Shadows Die like twice. And I'm like, all of these games, except for maybe Sekiro, are so boring. And when I look at the gameplay that they're advertising, I'm like, this looks so boring. Maybe I have standards that are too high, but I want to play a game with a character that looks as nice as this, with gameplay that is also like intriguing. Like, I'm so tired of boring action adventure RPGs. Like, put this character in Monster Hunter. I would like a good Monster Hunter character.
How do you say you're tired of boring action RPGs and then bring up Monster Hunter as a counterpoint?
Yeah, yeah, Koeth. Part of Monster Hunter's charm is he's working around all the built-in clunkiness.
I don't know about that.
It's literally just an action RPG. It's just not story based.
No, but there's like the actual like moment to moment combat. Like what you're doing in the game. Like when you're playing the game is what I mean. Like maybe it's the case that Stellar Blade will have like a stellar story. But like I don't care about the story. I want a good gameplay experience.
Yeah, and to be fair, I'm with you. I also don't like Monster Hunter.
I played Monster Hunter. I liked it I don't think I liked it enough to invest the kind of time it's asking for. That's not something I hold against it. It's just not hooking me enough, and there are other things I want to do and other games I want to play.
I mean, that's fair. Monster Hunter is not for everyone, and just because Monster Hunter is like complicated doesn't mean it's good. It just means that I like it.
Yeah, I'm not saying like it. I didn't get it. I'm not the parts I like. It wasn't necessarily because it was complicated. That's honestly one thing that's kind of pushing me away after I get through the tutorial sections they help. But like I see the draw, like fighting huge monsters, managing your stuff, like going through the grind of hunting down stuff, which I see the appeal, but like the part of the effort of doing well in the game is it's kind of like investing time in an RPG. It's something that fans will like, but it's gonna be the kind of appeal that's gonna be a direct turn-off to others.
So, I guess what I would say, to not use the Monster Hunter comparison, because that's just an example. This game also looks like God of War to me. And if you were to take parts of this game and you were to translate them to like a Dark Souls style, or what I think would be real cool, based on what I'm seeing in this game right now, like something like Shadow of the Colossus, where just like what you do and how you approach your combat encounters matters. Because when I look at all of their gameplay, it's all the same. It's just like hit them. And you hit them enough and you win.
Maybe there's more to it, because it does. I know it's probably just going to be like really flashy for the trailers, but one thing I didn't like, which kind of connects to the publishers, that I'm looking at it and it feels like very hot girls in a sci-fi generically dystopian setting fight going up against nondescript monsters that mostly have no personalities unless they're also cute girls. AKA every gacha game ever, but it's only asking you to pay once.
I mean, if Sony is saying that it's like Devil May Cry, that's all I need to hear to know that I will never touch it. I won't even watch somebody else play it, probably.
I don't know. Like, I kind of like fast-paced stuff, but I'm more interested in trying out Nier, since I am kind of interested in the story, but I do like some fast-paced stuff. Maybe it'll be mindless, but it doesn't seem that way.
I will say, watching the trailer, this does look more complicated than Nier. However, I am much more enticed to play Nier because it has 2B in it. And 2B is the original cyberpunk cutie.
To be or not to be?
I will be the contrarian on that point and say I would be much more interested in Eve.
Why? Why?
I like the ponytail for one thing.
Okay.
I will
say,
say,
I'm with you. The ponytail
I think
is nice.
Eve's design is more overtly sci-fi, because I like 2B's design. That it feels like, I'm not sure how to describe it. It feels kind of somewhat casual.
Eve feels a lot more Korean.
Yeah,
I don't know if that makes sense, but that's kind of how I feel when I compare the two.
Extremely Korean. It could be the Korean model they based her off of.
Yeah,
That's just
that
a
might be
guess.
something.
You may have cracked the code, Koeth.
Yeah, I'm something of a cryptologist myself.
My main takeaway is the aesthetic of the long side ponytail in motion as she's doing all her spinny attacks and stuff is peak.
It's like the Strider cape or the Strider scarf. It carries the motion with it.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I
Yeah,
think
it's an
it's
easy-
pretty sick.
Like an easy way to show like dynamic motion, like the feeling of movement.
Didn't Bayonetta have something similar to that?
Um, her
Which
hair-
Bayonetta?
The first Bayonetta.
I
She has like tassels on her outfit, I think.
yeah, she does. I don't know how much that carries over.
Yeah, the long sleeves. But you know, I hate Bayonetta. So
Now, I
like
probably
the short
would.
hair,
I would not like play any of these games. Wait, short hair.
the short hair Bayonetta is kind of fire,
All right. Oh, go ahead.
but the weird hat Bayonetta is awful.
Short hair Bayonetta is worst Bayonetta.
I mean, I don't like Bayonetta at all. But if I had to pick one of the Bayonettas, it's definitely Bayonetta 2 Bayonetta. Because Bayonetta 1 Bayonetta, it's just weird.
It's a weird beehive design.
Marge Simpson looking mother.
I'm down with it personally.
All right.
It's very distinct. I appreciate that in each look she does keep some sort of tassel waving around.
I mean, it's just her hair, right? Like that's
I thought so
her
too,
outfit
but,
is just her hair.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
the outfit's her hair, but you're not gonna know that unless you actually look into the game a bit more.
You know what? From a lore perspective, considering that her outfit is her hair, short hair Bayonetta doesn't make any sense.
She nerfed herself.
Like, is she just wearing normal clothes now?
I don't know. I think it's just it looks short from the front, is what I assume.
Oh,
I don't know. The box art has her. The way her head's turned, it looks like it's just short in general.
Hmm.
yeah.
well,
'Cause
again-
if it's just short hair, that's awful.
I'm not interested in those games generally. I just have an opinion about the design.
Yes. I probably
mean-
rent them from a library, but it's part of the appeal of that is the replaying them to get the highest score, and I'm gradually getting into replaying games that are designed for short bursts, getting getting some high score, like just the highest scores in games, especially if it's too high, it's just not fun. It was
This
like
is the peak haircut. The two big ponytails that come down to the front.
I like that.
I hope that
like
we can find
look.
some common ground on this one, Dice.
They're called pigtails, but yes, they are pretty nice.
You would
I was
call
wondering
those
if they counted as
pigtails?
pigtails.
It is literally pigtails. Like that
It
is
is.
the most
They're-
pigtails you could have.
No, like
Generally,
no, it's
pigtails aren't braided though.
That
the
is
ver-
literally the main
It's-
thing that makes things pigtails, not twin tails.
wait. There's a
Really?
difference.
Yes.
Oh no, Dice
I thought they were the same. I thought they were the same. But you're right.
Common Dice W. They are indeed just pigtails.
They
Yeah.
are. You're right. Hmm.
That's crazy.
People forget these distinctions. It's like when they call some short chick with a big booty a short stack. That's not a short stack. Short stacks have big titties.
But Dice Bag coming out here with the truth
That's
that we all need
That's
to
where
hear.
the term stack comes from, because they're stacked.
I didn't know people didn't know that actually.
I see people all the time saying like, "Oh, look at this short stack," and it's like Midna.
Midna's just short.
Midna's short and she's got a big booty.
Yes.
I've never seen you so impassioned.
Imagine someone using a word you know the wrong way all the time.
Oh, couldn't be me. Oh
I
my
like short
gosh.
stacks. What can I say?
Understood. Old Dice War revisited. We love to see it.
Yeah, I don't like those kinds of games either. Generally, just these action adventure games where you play in the third person and you just hack and slash your way through all of your problems.
I
You got
I understand this. Out of all the, if I were to not get it, it would. It's honestly one of the games that's easier for me to get people really liking, especially if they want, especially if they go for the types that aim for high scores.
I have never met a person in the wild who picks up God of War and says, "I'm gonna shoot for a high score."
Do they have a high? I mean, I'm talking about Bayonetta or the Devil May Cry. Does God of War doesn't have something like that, does it? A scoring
God of War
system?
had some kind of scoring system.
They're
I'm
all
pretty
the
sure.
same.
Yeah.
I played a bit of God of War, but I don't remember that at all. I mainly remember it.
I mean, they're not really memorable. you just hack and slash.
Sometimes that's all you need.
It
That's-
is sometimes all that you need.
That's the very normie view of video games.
It is.
Just
Not there to be challenged.
Button
just want
mash.
Power fantasy.
That's
button mash good.
That's probably one good thing about about a score system. If you do have medals, it makes you have to think about button mashing the right way.
True, but I feel like if you have a medal system or a scoring system and the primary driver of your game is not the scoring system, well then people will simply pass the level, see their score, and be like, cool, I beat it. And then
That's-
move on to the next thing.
Yeah,
That's
that's how I
definitely-
think.
That's me. I know a lot of people are really into games either being extremely replayable or being extremely long. And between the two, being replayable sounds more appealing, even if I can only get into that if it's basically designed like an arcade game.
So like some kind of rogue-like, perhaps.
No, Star Fox, a
Oh, I
rail
see.
shooter, like just
You already
Actually-
mentioned it. I'm just trying to shoehorn roguelikes back into the mix.
it's like one of those games where you're shooting things and you're on a single path to a destination. Imagine you're on a rail shooting things. You see where I'm going with this?
Never heard.
I know,
Yeah,
it's a
it
brand new
seems very-
concept. I'm thinking of coining it and calling it say it with me now, rail shooter. I'll copyright
No
that.
one's gonna
And
go for that. You have to call it a pipeline gunner.
you mean those space age tubes?
Like the internet.
Yes. You didn't get it. I feel sad.
Wait, what did I not get?
You didn't get the reference.
What's the reference?
I don't
No,
know.
it's-
I don't know.
I don't know. I'll tell you another time.
What are you implying that I'm not old enough to know? What is
Oh, you're
this?
old enough to know, and you're old enough to disappoint me. This is actually kind of obscure.
I'm losing my mind.
I forgot what your
on
joke
earth-
was by now.
What on earth are you talking about?
SMH, he doesn't know about space age tubes.
You're
Are
right.
you just talking about the internet?
No, it's an Aqua Teen Hunger Force reference.
Oh, okay.
Oh man, I was too young. I wasn't allowed to watch it.
I
Aqua
wasn't.
Teen
I wasn't
Hunger
either. I
Force.
just watched clips on the internet, and that one stuck with
Oh
me.
my gosh.
I was old
What
enough to
a-
watch it, but I rarely did.
I'm gonna
I
be
haven't d-
honest. Everything that I've seen from Aqua Teen Hunger Force makes it look like something that I would hate.
You might. I've seen clips. They're funny.
I mean, what about them is funny?
It's
I don't-
absurdist.
It is.
But why? All right, why would I watch Aqua Teen when I could instead watch Bobobo?
I don't know. Maybe you're just not into the anime aesthetic.
That's true.
We all know. Bobo
So instead,
is
I'll
very...
choose to watch something incredibly ugly.
Humorously ugly is what they're going for.
Would you say that they succeeded?
Yeah.
A lot of people like it.
I think that's just the product of it being something that was available, and people will like anything if it's what they have access to. To bring it back to the very start of the stream.
I don't know. I think Aqua Teen had some going for it.
The writing. I'd say it's probably the writing that carries it, because they're very aware of how like limited the animation is. I think after like 12 season or so, the last episode they added one new animation for their main character, and it's of him kneeling.
Wait, who's the main character? Is it the milkshake?
One of them. And that's
None of them have knees. How can they kneel?
Let me just give me a second.
Carl, is it?
No, I'll show you here. I'll
Oh,
just
man.
get the whole clip because
I'm gonna have to look at this animation today. It's gonna ruin my weekend.
Yeah.
Ay.
The guy in here, man. And the guy in here. The Bible.
This is the Bible.
You question the words of the mighty Jimmy?
No, I'm reading
You
it.
better kneel down and pray to Jimmy with me right frickin' now.
Okay.
I hate it.
That's a
I hate
needle,
it
huh?
so much.
they added. It took years, but they finally animated him kneeling. This is what the people want.
Holy fudge. CSP text editor is making me
It is a-
mad.
It is a text editor.
Certainly one of the text editors of all time.
The most there ever was.
What are you going to illustrate in this?
Calm down.
What?
I got it. I got it figured out. We might have to move something around.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot. You asked what was below Patron's body. I have an explanation.
You are not going to show me the hamster from Overwatch, are you?
Thank you for assuming my standards are that low. Mine are much higher than that.
Is he a worm?
I don't think so.
Stupid.
Oh no, he's just a meme.
Yep. I'd say that's fairly accurate.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if Patrick knew what he was getting himself into here.
Probably
He
not.
knows now. And since he knows now, you can take it as he consents.
Oops. Wait.
I really should have gave Guildhart a cape. But alas.
For his
Not.
sick action combos.
Instead, just give him a ponytail.
I can't, he wears a helmet.
Have the
Well, if the
ponytail
ponytail
go.
is long enough.
Make a hole for the ponytail through the helmet.
Yeah, give him an explicit weakness for no reason other than aesthetics.
You know what? That leg could be a little less dramatic. And have more forward momentum.
I am going to have to skedaddle. I look forward to
Alright.
seeing these when they're done. Do you think you're gonna do colors and stuff next stream, or do you think you're just gonna handle them after Patron lines them?
I have no idea. We're playing this all by ear. In
Oh
fact,
hell yeah!
I might need to call it quits pretty soon anyways, because it's late.
That's how I'm feeling. All right, man.
Understandable.
Take care.
Alright. Anyways, we're just gonna have like all his creatures kind of lined up, charging. And that is the plan. Here we go. Shield in front for the soul stalk here.
Hmm.
And he'll have the spear pointing straight forward. Like so.
Nice. Curly spear.
probably shouldn't be that long.
I think the curving leaf would probably be shorter, yeah.
That. I forget I'm not using multiple layers here.
Yeah. That's always fun to remember.
Gotta be more careful with my erasing.
Mm.
You working on anything at the moment, Evergrade?
Probably gonna. Oh, I'm not making any more personas, if that's what you were asking. Nothing planned. I was thinking of doing stuff, but today ended up being a bit of a lazy day because I had something important to take care of, and when I've got stuff planned, it makes it a little hard to be productive.
Yeah.
I sort of got something done because I finally finished Super Mario RPG, after going through the super bosses they had. It was it's nothing amazing, but it actually felt good to finish a game, and the bosses were tough, especially compared peak Nintendo difficulty, where the game is relatively easy, and you and the end game just gently puts your teeth on the sidewalk and plants firmly on your skull. And it was fun. It was fun though. I found most of them to be fair, but required a good amount of precision, because like if the enemies couldn't like one shot your team with one hit, they chip away at you so fast that it could be a headache.
What game is this?
Super Mario RPG,
The
remake. One of the dumbest one was probably boss booster who's interesting because I actually skipped his boss fight because there was a mini game where you play where you have to not get caught, and apparently that's you go right past that boss fight into another boss fight. And it is super boss fight. His gimmick is each of the bosses has a new twist. His gimmick is that okay, let's just say he's a very immature person, and instead of attacking, he always goes to build a train, and he's encouraged by his henchman, which has him speed up building it. If you're not fast enough, or if the encouragement he gets makes him fast enough, he'll create his train, and he'll ram into your party in an undodgeable attack and automatically kill you. That happened like 10 times before I realized that the problem was I was going to start grinding, then I noticed my speed stat wasn't rising, and I looked at my items and realized, okay, I think if I just give my fastest character, bump up the speed stat for one character to its highest, I can consistently attack Booster, interrupt him building the kamikaze train long enough for me to get rid of him and win. Which worked up until right at the end, where he was encouraged, started to start building his train, nuked the first 3 members of my party, and thankfully the game automatically swaps in living party members, which so I was able to actually finish him right then. It was fun. It was stressful, but fun in the end. Yeah.
I'm playing a lot of Pokemon Go recently.
So would you say that you would Pokemon Go for a walk?
I'm at Pokemon Go to the polls.
I thought that was too obvious. Yeah. It's been a while since I played Pokemon Go. Don't really have time to walk around much. Maybe if I have a bit of time. I could probably do it when I have a bit of time at work, but it's pretty hard for me to make good use of just my 1 hour break.
Yeah, I mostly just do it when I on my way home from work, because it's like 4 a.m. and nobody's out.
Yeah.
So if I stop at a stop sign, I whip out my phone and spin some Pokestops nearby.
Efficient. I've thought about doing that, but I'm pretty easily distracted, so I don't want to mess up. Usually on my break, I try to get some drawing done, but I've been a little burnt out because, like I said, I've been doing some extra training for a new position, and it's been genuinely busy. Not even in a bad way, and not quite in a bad way, but it does leave me. But I am kind of tired from it.
Yeah, we've been we actually got all our machines running, finally.
That's good. We've got a lot of training to do, because we need a specific number of people for this job, and due to current events, we are hiring a good amount who all need training, myself included. And I have the workload is a little different for me because I have some extra experience that brand new people wouldn't. so I'm also helping with some training in a sense. It's the case where I'm not always able to help out as much as I want to, and to be honest, it's kind of hard to ask for help with things I'm not sure about because of how busy everyone is.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, one thing we're doing is, instead of doing the whole process, we're just focusing on getting the most important step done that'll allow us to say, hey, we did this, and give people information on the jobs they want done. Instead of not necessarily cutting corners, but just trying to move things along in the system so we can say we did. But which honestly does sound like cutting corners, but we're not saying, oh, it's completely done and moving on.
I think
There's
this
a
guy's face needs to be moved up, Dad.
He needs to face the truth. Dealing with a face-off. He went through a facelift.
Oh.
Facing his shadow, the true self.
Alright, now we get to erase everything I drew behind him.
Can't you use a mask layer?
Huh?
A mask that, in a layer. That way you can technically erase it, but color in the mask so that it shows up. You can get it back later if you want it. I mean, you probably won't need it, but it's nice to have just in case. I think. Though I don't use it too often.
Oh, that's right. I'm using a clipping mask over the entire folder.
How does that work? Oh, wait.
You put everything in a folder, then you put something on top of it and make it a clipping mask.
Oh. I didn't think of that. I usually only use it for individual layers.
Yeah, that's why all the lines are colored.
Okay.
If we turn off the clipping mask, oh, surprisingly, this was all done. Oh no, wait, no, it's not. You see how that line at the top disappears when I turn it off?
Yeah, I see it now.
Yeah, that's because it was drawn with the background color.
Oh,
Because I slipped up and selected the background with the color picker one time and kept going.
oh,
I've
never
done that a
mixed up
lot,
layers.
but since I've got the clipping mask on top of it, all of the things appear as the same color.
Hmm. Unfortunate.
The Ragahauntin just kind of looks like he has Downs or something.
Maybe it's because. It's because his eyes and mouth are too close.
pull up a reference for this guy. Might be a little better. I'll say his head is way bigger than I drew it
Maybe
on here.
shrinking his head.
No, we're making it bigger.
Oh, that's what you meant.
It's way bigger on the reference.
Okay.
And we'll do this. You know what? Let's make it so the shield kind of facing the other way. That way I don't have to worry about his hand in the background there.
Efficiency.
Yeah. Hopefully a patron can make sense of these chicken scratches.
Panel 4, right?
This is 5.
Oh, so you are gonna finish tonight.
No, I'm about to quit.
I'll believe it when I see it.
I was just about to, so like
ZOMG. How dramatically appropriate.
gonna erase some of this, clean it up, and there we go. What's going on here, though? All right. I haven't saved this thing the entire time, so do
He
that.
likes to live. He likes to live dangerously, folks.
We're already in the danger zone when I started the stream with my VPN on.
Oh yeah, I saw. Oh yeah, I saw that. Giving people the slideshow experience.
All right. It's 11:30 over here. Sounds like a good quitting time. I think I got enough done for myself.
Works for me.
Let's see if anybody's even still watching. Well, anyways, thanks for watching, anyone who's still here and who comes later watching the VODs. Don't forget to subscribe and like, of course, as one does on YouTube and all these other places. So that'll be the end for us. I don't know about you, but I'm winding down.
Yeah, I've got nothing to do, so I'm fine with that.
All right. We'll see everybody later. Bye.